Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Bossrush Network. I am your host, the preposterous Palico Hunter himself, Mr. Eddie B. Joining me is the novice hunter himself, Mr. Corey Derrick.
I don't like this. What's happening? I'm so lost. I don't understand what's happening. Why am I here?
Do you know how to trap and tranquilize a monster?
No.
That's why you're a novice hunter.
I am not a hunter at all. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
That's why you're not a hunter.
And Eric, we got two special guests joining us, of course, from Crossroads, the gunner hunter himself, Mr. LeRon Dawkins.
What's poppin'? And yes, I have been gunning this game. I have been doing that.
Yes. Did you start your other weapon too, or you just been
Actually, yeah, I've been playing around with a few other weapons. But right now, like just trying to get progress going. I've just been using the stuff that I know.
Nice. And everybody, of course, we got the guide hunter himself, Mr. Greysun Morales.
Hi, guide hunter. I like that.
Yes. He's the features guide editor at Game Rant, so he is guiding us on how to get through Monster Hunter, how to slay the beast, and more. And so, welcome you guys. How are you? We are back in the building. We are live. I'm just so excited for you guys to be here because everybody, we are going to be talking about Monster Hunter Sunbreak and a little bit for playing with power. And we got just some great topics and a great discussion. But before we get on into that, Corey, how was your weekend?
It was all right. I recorded a bunch of podcasts, and yeah, that's what I did. I played with my kids and hung out with my wife and got a haircut and recovered from COVID and recorded a lot of podcasts. So...
Can we see your haircut?
No.
Why not?
Because, I mean, you can, I guess. It's just, whatever.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Why? Because I wear a hat all the time means I don't want to take my hat off. Is that what you're
Exactly. That's why I did it.
I've actually thought about retiring the hat for quite some time, but
what's stopping you?
It's the
like
look.
part of who you are.
It's
now.
the look.
Yeah.
I've been wearing it.
Yeah.
I've been wearing it for 7+ years now on every single show. I feel like if I retired it, like what's even happening to my podcasting career, my poor sad podcasting career.
Oh wow. Well, I think that would be your first time recording a podcast with just your head showing, the top of your head.
You are correct.
Yeah, I think that was the first time I've ever seen that, so it was shocking.
Yeah.
Yes. Greysun, how was?
Do you want me to take it off for the rest of this episode? I'd feel weird, but
no,
I'll
it's
do
okay.
it.
It's okay.
No, you don't have to do that.
It's fine.
Do you want
Do
me
it
to
for
wear
a special
you want me to wear it
cast.
frontwards and do the cool YouTuber thing where they flip it up?
Oh
like this?
no!
No, please don't do that.
It's fine.
I hate that so much.
See, I knew you were a nerd. I knew you were a nerd, but damn.
You like it. Don't lie.
Greysun, how was your weekend?
My weekend, it was good. Half of it was good. Saturday, me and my boyfriend went to I don't know if you heard of it, but the Timeout Market. It's in West Loop, which is like, for people who don't know, it's west of downtown Chicago, like a kind of neighborhood that's built around like warehouses and like kind of like warehouse district kind of vibe. But they have this Timeout Market place, which it's like basically an adult food court, and they have food. Like small samples of food from like the best restaurants in Chicago in there. So you can get like sushi here, ramen here, Mexican food, burgers, and all kinds of stuff. And they have really good like cocktails and drinks and stuff. So we went there, took the train, and kind of had a little date night, and then went back home pretty early. Sunday, I kind of a weird day because I woke up not feeling well. And I kind of wanted to rearrange my entire apartment. So I had, this is why my desk is now in my bedroom, because I am crazy and I need change like every month in my place.
You end them across your apartment.
Yeah, I wish I could just use my Switch to do it, because I was freaking exhausted. Like, I was moving stuff like all day, like hours and hours, like the TV and the couch and carpets and dressers and my desk and mopping and sweeping and all that stuff, which is really tiring.
when you move stuff, it's the best time to listen to like old albums or like
have the
albums that
Spotify playlist going.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty laid back. I pretty much just been playing Monster Hunter, trying to finish it to eventually write my review. So it's just doing that and working and yeah.
All right. LeRon, how was your weekend?
It was I don't know if you should ask me how my weekend was. Like my weekend was not the best, in all honesty. I just had a bunch of personal stuff going on, so it kind of detracted from what I would have liked to have done and gotten done over the weekend. I did find time to play Monster Hunter because ultimately I wound up spending like Saturday by myself. So there was that. So but no, like weekend, like it rained here all weekend where I'm at in Virginia. And I'm one of those people, like I don't like doing stuff out in the rain. If it's like a regular like a rain shower or whatnot, I can deal with that. But like it was at certain points of the day, Saturday for sure, it was throwing down out here. And we did, because we had a thunderstorm Friday night, and then Saturday it was just like, oh, we're just gonna keep raining. Like, and it's one of those things that will pull me out of like any type of mood to do something. But my weekend was fine. It was just a bunch of me keeping to myself for the most part for Friday night and Saturday, and then Sunday, which I owe Corey an apology for. I got caught up in something and was nowhere close to home to even like do any recording or podcasting. We were supposed to do our special episode of Standard Definition where we covered Agent Carter, so be on the lookout for that whenever we get it done. And Corey doesn't send like a severed horse head to my house in the mail.
It's already on the way.
Wow.
It's actually another part of the horse, LeRon, that I won't disclose on this family program.
Wow.
It better be the horse's ass, because if it's anything else, I'm calling the cops.
Wow.
That tells me a lot about you, LeRon. I kind of instantly regret my decision.
Oh, there you go.
Well, for me, I literally took the weekend off from work. I have been working so much for these past 2 months, being at different stores, filling in for other managers, doing 6 days at my store, and I was everybody had their vacation time, and I had to go fill in for that stuff. And for this weekend, I was just like, you know what? For the next 3 days, I'm taking off. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, please do not look for me. Do not ask for me. I did have to go in though Saturday because we got our truck day moved to Saturday. But other than that, man, just eating pizza, playing games, doing some recordings, having some really good discussions about a particular game in the day. And I yesterday night, me and Corey recorded a expansion pass, and I can't give it away, but we probably spent a good 25 extra minutes talking about a certain topic. And even when we got off, I knew we had to go to bed, but I was just like, I just wanted to talk to
Ed tried to start another conversation after I was like exhausted and ready to go to bed.
I'm sorry that idea
I agree. It was
y'all are like high school girls. Like y'all get off the phone and immediately call each other back.
That's how I identify LeRon. It's a high school girl.
High school girl.
The teenage high school girl. Like,
teacher.
Wow. And that's the end of Nintendo Pow Block forever.
No. But I really got some good games in. Got to do some shopping because I picked up some stuff. And just really took this weekend just for me. Didn't really try to go out anywhere or do much besides like just relax my body and just enjoy just enjoy my time by myself. Is basically what I'm saying. So that's pretty much was my weekend. But before we get on, we got some housekeeping. Corey, you want to let the people know what's going on?
Yeah, just a couple reminders, guys. Our ranking Nintendo and Sega episodes of Standard Definition are coming to Nintendo Pow Blocks podcast feed. So these episodes have already posted on the Patreon and the free feeds. So these are just a little bit of extra content for you guys to try to give you more Nintendo love, and also to get eyes on that show, to try to grow it a little bit. Right now, I think the NES episode went out already, and Super Nintendo is coming out next week, so look forward to that. Yeah, also remember that Nintendo Pow Block's podcast feed also includes Expansion Pass and the Direct Recap Show. Also, we are working on a spoiler cast for Death's Door. We started kind of throwing out ideas for spoiler casts on new or interesting games to us. May not always be the newest game, but a few of us have been playing Death's Door recently, and I know it came out like a long time ago, but it's an amazing game, and I think it'd be worth doing something like that. So look forward to that in the near future. Our Pow Block 300 merch is still up. It's going to be up for another couple weeks, so if you haven't gotten your sticker or your shirt or something, you can go to bossrush.net and click on store and get that stuff. And lastly, if you are listening on iTunes or Spotify, we would really appreciate it if you left us a 5-star rating or review. It would really help us out with discoverability and stuff. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, all that stuff. All that general crap we're supposed to say here as content creators. Because I'm going to wear my hat like this so I can get those subs.
Wow.
My hat doesn't even fit that direction. I'm pretty sure my head has just molded to the inside of hats, and when I turn it around, it just doesn't like it. It's like the Egyptians who put their babies' heads in cones and then they grew it out real long.
Wait, what? No, wait.
Anyways, that's it. That's it for housekeeping, though. Back to you, Ed.
Well, everybody, it's time for Snacktendo. LeRon, what have you been snacking on?
Actually, what have I been snacking on?
Well, I don't know. What's under your desk?
You're gonna laugh at me, right? You're gonna laugh at me right now because like I was going through the pantry the other day and realized I had a whole thing of freaking, what are these things? The corn pops. We typically don't buy milk at this place, so like milk is a thing like when we think about like wanting to eat cereal. So we had like a whole bunch of like leftover like big like economy sized boxes from Costco and Sam's Club.
Yeah. And
so I was like, you know what? I'm not buying milk anytime soon, and this stuff is going to go stale, so I started eating that. But
wait, what is it? Sorry, what are you eating?
Corn pops. That's cereal. Corn pops? The corn pop cereal.
What?
Yeah.
Corn pops. I thought that's what you said, but then I thought I like missed something.
No. The only thing you miss is that like I don't buy milk. So like normally like when I'm thinking about cereals when I buy milk. So like when I'm not thinking about cereal, like. And there's cereal in the house, it just sits there. So it's like, I was like, you know what? Let me start eating this before it goes bad. But actually, I got in mail today. Our good friend Jack Bro, known as Geek Bro here at Boss Rush Network, he sent me a care package from his new job. He's working for the Snack Club place. And dude asked me, he was like, you're always like snacking on stuff wow, I feel like I'm giving a free advertisement right now. You're always snacking on stuff when you're on the podcast and stuff. I just got this new job and it's all food here. So I was like, oh yeah. And he sent me to a website and I was looking, I was like, damn, there's some good stuff here. So he sent me a goodie bag full of stuff.
Is this something we should reach out to his company to try to promote some snacks on here?
That's a good possibility. Like, let's see. So let me see. Like, I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got six things here. Okay. So we've got the Cape Cod Trail Mix, which I haven't opened on this yet. It just came in the mail literally today, and I just haven't had a chance to
taste it on air.
Well, I'm not doing this trail mix on air because it's got cashews in it, and I'm allergic to cashews. This Cape Cod Trail Mix
Eat it
has
anyway.
dry cranberries, fancy cashews. And Supreme almonds. Oh, I like their marketing. Okay.
You're supposed to eat those cashews with your pinky out, like fancy cashews.
I guess so. And then let's see, we've got tahine apple rings. Tahine is basically like if you ever had like the mango the mango the spicy mango like snacks, like that's that's what the tahine stuff is. It's got chili lime. It's got chili lime theme and it's apple rings, which he said he told me not to sleep on this stuff, so I'm ready to try it. And because he's listened to quite a few episodes of Crossroads, he knew I was all about the rainbow sour strips.
Sours.
Oh,
Yeah.
So good.
Yep. I also got another thing. We've also got tahine watermelon rings.
Ooh.
Sounds delicious. We have an actual trail mix that I can eat. The Energizer Trail Mix. It has peanuts, raisins, chocolate candies with M&Ms basically, and almonds. I can eat that. And last but not least is the tahine fiesta mix, which, oh wow, it's got crunchy versions of peanuts, toasted corn, and pepitas, which are basically aren't those like pepitas? Aren't those like pumpkin seeds?
Probably.
I think so.
I think they are. I think so. Yeah.
Maybe.
I wonder if my box came in today. I know he sent me something.
Oh, he sent you something too?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I haven't got to check the mail yet or anything.
But you know what? I will try right now. I will try the tahine apple rings because that's got me curious. And my roommate's getting this trail mix because I can't fuck with cashews and pistachios and hazelnuts.
Oh, pistachios are the best.
Actually, that's probably how I can get off this podcast tonight if I can.
Oh no!
Live on camera.
LeRon, you're allowed to say no when we invite you on podcasts.
Oh no. This is fine. You talk about the stuff I like. Okay, so here we go. Oh man, that's a good blend of flavor. The chili lime is almost a little more overpowering, but I'm starting to get the apple ring.
So it's like the spicy and the sweetness together, like balance.
Yeah. Actually, this is very good. All right, so my recommendation on this one is if you're not into spicy food, don't mess with that. I like spicy food, so it's not a big deal for me. But yeah, you definitely get the chili and the lime taste before the apple ring flavor comes in to try and balance it out. But it's like a firecracker in your mouth. I'll say that.
Wow.
So this is actually pretty good. I give it a 4 out of 5.
A firecracker.
I like weird stuff like this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and like I said, I will try the other stuff except for the Cape Cod Trail Mix. Damn, if it wasn't for the cashews and stuff, I could get down on this. But I'm one of those people. Well, I'm not crazy allergic. It can it can touch the cashews and stuff, but the possibility of actually eating one is too much for me.
You're not like Scrooge McDuck in it in some cashews.
Well, now what?
Scrooge McDuck in it, like in DuckTales. Come on, like when he dives in the big ball of money. But
Oh no! Oh, I was like, what? No.
Are you? Never mind.
No, I'm a DuckTales fan, but I just didn't get that. I just didn't get what you were talking about with Scrooge McDuck in it.
Well, you said I can touch it, but I'm not gonna eat them. And I'm like, you're not like Scrooge McDuck in it and some cashews. That would be terrible. That was the joke. But
okay, I got the joke now.
Wow.
I'm retiring.
Well, Corey, what have you been snacking on?
I mean, I haven't really been snacking on anything. We did go to Rice Paper this weekend, which is my favorite Thai place, and I got the Indonesian fried rice, and man, I love that place, man. It's definitely worth the money.
The closest Rice Paper to me is in Northern Virginia, and whenever I do get up that way, I always try to stop there.
Oh, it's so good,
Nice.
man. The Indonesian fried rice, and they say it comes with barbecue chicken, but it's just straight grilled chicken with they grill it in red curry. And so oh my gosh, it's so good. And the shrimp is good. And it's just the most amazing thing ever. It's the best chicken I've ever had, hands down, out of anywhere.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I know I talk about that place a lot on here, but it's a favorite. And I refuse to eat anything else there because it's so good.
I never had Indonesian fried rice.
And like it comes with a lime that you can squeeze onto it, which is nice. Like it gives it a little extra flavor. Oh, so good.
Is that place just in like certain states, or is it?
Well,
I never heard of it.
It's weird because there's like a lot of rice papers, but most of them are like locally owned. It's not a chain. There just happens to be a bunch of rice papers. This particular owner only owns 2 of them, like one that's right down the street from me and one that's like 45 minutes away. But
Got it.
But yeah, I mean it's amazing.
Sounds good.
Well, Greysun, what have you been snacking on?
I mean, yeah, like Corey, I don't really like snack on too many things, but when we went to the timeout market, like I mentioned earlier, I went to this restaurant called Colombia, and it's supposed to be a mix of Polish and Colombian food, which is really interesting. It's a cute name too. And I had like an arepa or something like that, which is like an arepa is like a Colombian dish, which is usually like a cornmeal patty with like meat on it and veggies and stuff. And I had one of these, and it had like lentils, because I was just trying not to eat like a lot of meat that day. It was pretty good. It wasn't like the best thing I've tasted, but it was a very interesting dish that kind of opened me up a little bit. Because I was gonna go with like the chicken, or you can get like short rib or something like that. But like, no, I'm gonna try the vegetarian lentils, and it was kind of too much lentils, like piled on top of the cornmeal, so it was kind of like soggy and it wasn't like super hot, which was sort of disappointing. But it was still pretty tasty though. And last night we went to a Thai place, like literally right on our street, for the first time, and I had a steak. Oh, it's like a beef salad with like just beef, like marinated pieces of beef cut up with like tomatoes and lettuce and stuff. And for some reason, I didn't think it was gonna be spicy. And I'm like eating this thing, like my lips are burning and my mouth is on fire. Yeah, and I was like, this is supposed to be like a little chill salad. There was no warning, so yeah, I was literally still hungry. Like I could have finished the whole thing, but I didn't because it was so hot. I'm not used to like super spicy stuff, but it tasted really good though. But like today, I felt the repercussions because my stomach has been like on fire. Yeah, I've been in the bathroom today a lot. I'm fine now, but this morning was rough. But it was really hot, so Thai food can like really mess you up.
You was really a Charizard.
Oh my god, yeah.
Charizard from the wrong end.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Cyndaquil. That's a Pokemon with a fire butt, right?
Yeah. Oh,
nailed it.
Kind of.
Well, for me, I picked up some Hostess Tropical Blast Twinkies, and they're disappointing.
I was going to say that they don't sound appetizing.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like kind of like
coconutty.
Like, yeah, in a sense.
That's my first thought. Like would it be a coconut like frosting on the outside or coconut filling on the inside? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, like it trying to imitate that it's a berry flavor, but it's not. It's very
flavor.
Yeah, it's very.
Well, see, first of all, if I can just say this, like you messed up getting Twinkies in the first place. I have yet to have a Twinkie that I've liked.
I looked at it because it was just like, okay, so this is something new. Well, I'll get it to try for Snacktendo. That was the only reason why I actually got it, was because of Snacktendo.
I haven't had a Twinkie in so long. It's one of those things where I can eat one of them and I'll be fine for like 10 years. You know what I mean?
I've had my fill. Like I can't remember the last time I've actually had a Twinkie. Like voluntarily. Like I hardly ever get the taste for those.
I saw the other day.
Aren't they supposed to like stop selling them or something?
I take that back. A couple of years ago, I was at this Korean place, and you know how every like ethnic restaurant has like something that's Americanized on their menu and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They had deep fried Twinkies. I did have one of those, And you know what? That's the first time I can say that I actually had a Twinkie that I actually liked.
I know they usually have those like at some carnivals. They sell as a treat.
Yeah.
But I never had one yet.
You know what I saw the other day? Somebody posted it on Twitter or Instagram or something. Was a Twinkie Frappuccino frozen like a gas station coffee drink.
Oh,
Lamont did.
Yeah, gross.
And
Gross.
you didn't have it. You just made
I
the
saw
comment.
it. I saw. Yeah.
Oh, you saw it.
Lamont posted it on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
Oh, gross. Look, there's nothing. The only thing I can think of worse than a Twinkie is a liquefied Twinkie. Not something I want in my body. Okay. I put a lot of garbage in this mouth. That is not one of them. Okay.
Oh wow. Well,
I hear you on that one.
The other one that I got, finally, I was able to find it. The Pringles Scorching Wavy Loaded Nachos.
Okay, I already don't know how I feel about nacho flavor on a potato chip. So please tell me about it.
It's really good. It's very...
Because I love nachos.
It tastes like some good nachos. It's very spicy.
But
like,
Pringles doesn't taste like your conventional potato chip, so it's one of those things. It's throwing me.
Pringles are like a unique thing. Like they're one in the like. There's no other chip that tastes like it. I feel
Right?
Like.
Yeah.
They've been putting out like kind of like new flavors and everything. And this was the one I seen someone posted it, but I couldn't find it at the store. So when I went to go get the Twinkies, I had looked into the chip section and they had it there. So I went and got it there at my grocery store that I go to get the shop. But it's really good. I definitely, it's hot. That these scorching wavy ones is definitely hot. So
they're spicy.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't need that in my life.
I got some sour dots also.
Oh, dots.
Yeah, but I haven't tried.
Come on.
God, are you from like the 1930s?
God.
Oh, I'm gonna go see this motion picture and get me some dots.
God, you're like somebody's grandma that has like the most obscure snacks
like
in
the
her
Easter
purse.
basket candy.
I told you guys when
like you hungry baby, come here. I got something for you.
I told you guys when I see new snacks, I go get them and try them. So, and then I still got to try it, but I got the Chick-fil-A sauce that they're now selling.
I've seen that a lot. I've been very tempted to purchase that myself.
Oh,
yeah. I forgot to get my nuggets to dip them in to try them. I am going to be doing it with a spicy chicken, Corey.
I mean, I do like Chick-fil-A sauce. I do.
I mean, we've been over it this before, Ed. But what you do with the spicy chicken sandwich, okay? You put half a mayonnaise on one side of the bun and half the mayonnaise on the other side of the bun, and then you take Chick-fil-A sauce on one side of the bun and the rest of it on the other side, and then you swivel the bun together, and then you put the chicken back on. Okay, that way you got full coverage, and it's not too much. It's quite delicious.
Okay.
Have you tasted that sauce yet, Ed? Does it taste just like?
Not yet. I went to go get chicken nuggets to go dip them in to try them, but my black tail stayed in the house most of the weekend, so I didn't try to leave or do anything. So
Chick-fil-A sauce kind of tastes like a little. It's spicy is the wrong word, but like it's like honey. It's like honey mustard with a little bit of a kick plus some mayonnaise into it.
Like the Dijon kind of like.
Yeah, it's like a take on Dijon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had the sauce actually when I got spicy chickens from Chick-fil-A, but I just don't know how if this bottle one is going to taste the same way. Because sometimes
it should taste the same because Chick-fil-A is very anal about their products.
Well, probably so. Well, this is the first time me seeing it in the store. So I think the store that I went to just got it. I don't know if it's been like a normal thing, like if they got it to it.
You used to be able to buy it at the actual like Chick-fil-A restaurants.
Okay, so then they just down mass marketed it like at stores and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, but that's pretty much. I'm sorry about that. That's pretty much it for me doing any kind of snacks and everything. I'll probably be trying to find some new snacks for next week. But I was at the store and I seen those. I'm like, this would be good for Snacktendo. Like there's something new, something I haven't tried, and I'll go give it I'll definitely give it a try. Um, but everybody, it's time for Playing with Power. So Corey, I'm actually gonna go with you first.
That's
We're
fine.
playing with Power.
That's fine. I mean, I haven't really been playing much the last week. I've been playing. I've been trying to catch up in Destiny 2, trying to finish my season pass because I've been so far behind because I just haven't played because this season is not interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the story's interesting, but the events and stuff are just not interesting. So I've been playing that, and then I've been playing a lot of Death's Door. I'm approaching the second kind of major boss, the major dungeon. So that's Death's Door is like one of the most amazing games I've ever played. Like I every like once a year there's a game that really grabs me, and it's just like I feel like it's like the greatest game ever made, and Death's Door is this year's game. It's so good, man. And I know it's been out since last September on Xbox or something, and then November on the rest of the consoles, but I wish I would have played it sooner. It's just so good. The combat is so fluid. The bosses are unique and interesting. I know I've said it's kind of like a Souls-ish game where like you collect the souls and you go and trade them in to upgrade your character and stuff, but it's more of like a isometric Zelda game, I would say, in terms of the dungeons and the puzzles and stuff. I really like the powers you get when you get a power to finish the dungeon, right? And it's very Zelda-esque like that. The writing is really smart and quirky and like dark with a little bit of humor in there. It's just I love this game so much, and I bought it digitally, but I pre-ordered the physical edition from Target just to have it. So yeah, that's all I've been playing. I just love this game so much. I'm hoping to finish it by the end of the week so we can kind of start planning the spoiler cast. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I finished Death's Door Sunday, and I really enjoyed it. You know, I was getting my tail kicked a little bit by the boss, but I was kind of realizing that it's just like, take your time with it. The bombs in this game are so good. They're so powerful, and they're very helpful on defeating a lot of the bosses and stuff once you get them, if you time it right. But yeah, I enjoyed the ending. There is a secret ending to this game that I'll probably try to attempt to get. I still got some collectible stuff because I ended my game like at 86% with it. So I know there is I think one more secret boss I need to find so I could do a power up to get the last power up for my, but I gotta get the power up for my fire. I think that's the one that I'm missing. Other than that, really great game. Like you said, Corey, the writing is fantastic. I laughed at the frog boss because he is like sassy. But then when you actually fight him, and just the way because there's parts where they'll introduce the boss and it's this big theatrical wording that's on it, and they kind of like describing the boss. And the frog one, they just went all in. I was just like, this is too much. And everything. And I literally fell out laughing. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I will say this, and I kind of said it on Twitter. I think Death's Door is better than Tunic. Because Tunic, the fox is too slow, and it's challenging. But with that speed and with the way that the game actually don't tell you where to go, like it feels kind of directionless. I kind of just lost focus and interest in that game.
I mean, Death's Door is good in that way where like, even though it doesn't really tell you where to go, like there's enough hints around the world that kind of guides you, and the world doesn't feel aimless. I didn't play enough Tunic to like really kind of have an opinion one way or another, but just from that initial playthrough and what I've been playing of Death's Door, I feel like Death's Door is more my speed in terms of, no pun intended, but type of game that it is. So I do plan on playing Tunic. I'm kind of hoping for a Switch release just because I'm more likely to play it there than to sit in front of a TV and play it. But, I'll make that call when it comes out eventually.
Yeah. Last but not least, I played Fire Emblem Three Hopes. Been working on that. I'm finally, I think I'm in chapter 4, right now because like if I lose an enemy, I can't get them back. But I think what I
You mean
chose,
lose an ally?
ally, yeah.
Okay.
I said
I
enemy.
was like, what? I was like, that's an interesting
feature.
take on Fire Emblem.
Lost an enemy. He's gone. I can't find him.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I really am enjoying this game. There's a lot to do with it. The combat is easy to get into. You don't feel rushed in this game in a sense because there's like not so much a timer. You really got time to go to different parts of the map and be able to take over certain areas. It's not such a rush or anything, but I definitely have been enjoying it. And I kind of like all the side things that they have, like having you cook for other people to like gain more of their trust, buying them gifts and like upgrading their weapons, training them, and you guys being a unit going in and fighting and stuff. It's been really good for that. So I could see that future warrior games because it kind of feels like every warrior game that they put out, when they get something right, you kind of see them continue it in the next game, or they'll take that idea. And I think with Fire Emblem Three Hopes, some of the ideas that they have in their game in this game, I think they won't carry it to their next warrior game. Not so much the Samurai Warriors 5 that came out, because I heard that one was kind of good too. But I like their following game like after that. So that's pretty much what I have been playing.
Do you
but,
like I was gonna
go ahead.
ask, did you like are you liking this more than Age of Calamity, or do you still like that one more?
I actually like I kind of feel like they're equal in a sense. The thing though with Fire Emblem Three Hopes is there's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dialogue, and I understand that this is kind of on the level of Fire Emblem because Fire Emblem does have a lot of dialogue, but it's not like Age of Calamity where when you get done with they're done with their area, there's so much there that you could do and side quests that you could do and everything. It's I feel like they're equal to me. I think I still like Age of Calamity better in a sense, and I think because of the flow of Three Hopes with all the dialogue and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Great voice acting. The cinematics are great and everything, but I think it's just like it's too much at sometimes, and you really just want to jump into the action and everything. So I'm not knocking it or anything, but it is really a great game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Omega Force has really done a decent job of integrating whatever franchise they're pulling from and pulling aspects from those games and kind of formatting it to the Warriors gameplay. There's a lot more strategy involved in Fire Emblem Warriors this time around, I feel like, and whereas like Age of Calamity was more like you got these characters that you don't normally get to play as in Zelda, right? And they all have different move sets that you can experiment with and kind of do combos with, whereas this, like, there's actual strategy involved. Like, you actually have to open up the map and tell these characters where to go, and some characters are better suited for certain areas than others, right? Like, it's definitely pulling those Fire Emblem strings in a Warriors kind of format.
Yeah, they're able to mix them together. So Greysun, what have you been playing with Power?
Let's see. So yeah, like I said, I've pretty much been playing Rise exclusively since it came out, which was I don't know what did it come out June
30th.
It was like 2 weeks.
June 30th.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been like almost 2 weeks now. But I guess besides that, I've been playing. I was playing a couple of things on my Switch, kind of just checking out some older games, kind of just playing stuff like Splatoon. Kind of not really preparing myself for Splatoon 3, but I've been in a big Splatoon mood lately, so I've been playing a lot. Like before Rise came out, I was probably playing a little bit every day, just because it's so easy to jump in and just do like 2 or 3 matches when I have like 10 minutes or something, or when I'm having lunch or whatever. And I'm really excited for Splatoon 3. Like just playing that, I know Splatoon 3 doesn't look that much different than Splatoon 2, but it's just like a reason to get back into it and have cool events again and Splatfest and get to learn new weapons and stuff.
I have to say, some of your screenshots that you were posting on Twitter of like the close matches and stuff, like
yeah,
I literally re-downloaded the game to play a little bit.
So fun.
And that's my intention this week, is to play a little bit of Splatoon, because like Ed and I were talking about Splatoon 3 yesterday for an expansion pass, and I was like, I don't know, there's something about Splatoon 3 that has me really excited to jump back in and play. Because Splatoon is one of those games that, like, every time I play it, I have so much fun, and then I get distracted by something else, and I forget about it for months on end, and then I'll look at it and be like, huh, I remember I had a lot of fun with that game. And, you know, I re-downloaded it, though, to hopefully play it at some point.
Yep.
It's awesome, yeah.
We were talking about Nintendo with the Splatoon thing, how they do the 2 colors and everything, like the pop color and the neon colors. They do such a great job with it. Like
the colors look so vibrant too. Like whenever I'm so excited to be on whatever team, usually it comes like, oh, I'm on the blue team, and it's like that nice blue color. The purple is really purple, like the yellow is really, it's like super bright and colorful. And like like I only do Turf Wars too, right? Like I don't like the other game modes. Like I don't think they're as good as Turf Wars, and they've done just like a great job perfecting this one mode. Like kind of betting all their cards on it, right? And Splatoon, like hoping that people would have fun with it, and it really is just like kind of perfect, if you ask me. Like there's not much I really want to change with the series. It's more of just like, you know, making certain things easier, like playing with friends or having different maps, because I do get tired of the same maps a lot of the time. But little like things like that. But for me, like Turf Wars is so much fun, and it's like I cannot play the game for like a year and come back, and the controls just feel perfect for me after a few minutes. And there's not a lot of games I can say that about. And for that to be a multiplayer, like an online multiplayer game, still have really like almost kid-friendly controls and stuff. It's really fun, and it's simple and just so easy to pick up, right? But yeah, and I've been playing. I haven't played in like 2 weeks, but I bought Dragon's Dogma like a couple weeks ago, probably a month ago now, which I know you were playing a little bit too. Just because I've heard about it a lot, and I'm kind of excited for the second one. I played like 5 hours of it. It's really fun. Like I like how you can climb monsters, and the combat's way more fun than I thought it would be. It's it really reminds me of Monster Hunter meets like Elden Ring or something, except the map is really bad. Like you cannot. I don't know what to do. The quests are bad. Like the way it tells you what to do, how to find things. Like, so I stopped playing because I was running back and forth to a lot of places. Especially if I died, I would have to like start over from where I last saved. And it's one of those really dated, antiquated type of games where it just it feels like it was made in like 2003 or something when it came out, like, you know, not too long ago.
Well, I think some of them did work on Monster Hunter, I believe.
That would make sense, honestly. Like, I wish the next Monster Hunter game we can climb around the monster, just stab them and walk. Like, it was so much fun.
You didn't play Monster Hunter World.
Well, I played World and Iceborne, like the Clutch Claw, but I mean, like, you can just literally grab whenever you want and just like crawl around and just.
Okay, that's true.
I love him.
Or have bigger monsters, I guess.
I love them where when you could just get on them and just stab them and everything. Yeah. This is just like I'm like, this is my Shadow of Colossus.
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah, it's besides that, it's still a good game. Like I think the writing is pretty funny and like kind of like not what you would expect. And the monsters are really fun to fight, and there's cool combos you can pull off. And it almost feels like you're playing multiplayer because you can hire like these NPCs called pawns, and you can really customize like how they speak to you. You can customize how often they heal you, how often they fight, and they kind of just chill with you and go on quests with you. And it's really fun. It's a very chill, laid back game. It doesn't really take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
But I really want to get back to it once I wrap up Sunbreak.
Yes. Yeah. LeRon, what have you been playing with Power?
Just Monster Hunter Sunbreak. That's literally it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get into Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. LeRon and Grayson, you guys have been playing it. Give us your impressions about it. I'm gonna start with you, LeRon. Since you are the Hunter expert and professional, like you know the lore and everything. I'm gonna start with you with your impressions.
Okay. I will just go ahead and say it like this. Like I feel like Monster Hunter is coming to fruition for what like the developers really want to do with this game and this series. Honestly, when Monster Hunter World came out, like the executive producer, Ryozo, I can't remember his last name. Sakamoto, I think it is.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, but he said that initially, like Monster Hunter World is what they really wanted to have done on the PS2 back when the 2004 Monster Hunter game came out. But of course, hardware limitations and stuff like that,
Mhm.
it is what it is. So like we got what we got. And then so now here we are, Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is just a continuation of Monster Hunter World and Iceborne's formula, except it's more realized and there's a lot more potential that's been like pulled out of it and stuff like that. I I've always liked every Monster Hunter game, like with the exception of the Wii version. But the the only problem I really had with the Wii version for Monster Hunter 3 was it was too short. It was too short, lack of content. Like that got fixed when Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate came out. But with Sunbreak, like it's so visually striking. Like everything about this game is it's beautiful. Everything pops, and like there are some things that they definitely like that was on the Rise side that was wrong with the game that they definitely paid attention to and fixed that. Like it's almost like you're playing a completely different game, except it's the same game that you've known for like the last year and some change. And it's fun. They're bringing back like classic monsters, which that's a staple of every Monster Hunter game, especially when you get to the expansion games, which are like what Iceborne was for World and what Sunbreak is now for Rise. It's all about who's coming back, what were we seeing and stuff like that, and it's gonna be interesting because like in August, like they have this massive drop where like we know for sure we've got two monsters that are basically returning monsters from previous games, but they also said several other monsters are appearing and stuff like that. And it's making me wonder if they're gonna do my most wanted wish, which is like they have all these juvenile versions of monsters from previous versions of Monster Hunter that's in the game. Like when you're running around in the in the tundra in the ice level, there's these little things that are like sharks that like glide on the water and like will run past you and they'll actually hit you and stuff like that. Those things are baby versions of Zamtrios, which was a Monster Hunter 4 monster. They're in there. When you walk into the guild hall, go into the guild hall with in the village. And you see Hojo, the guy that basically is like he's the guild master for that area. He's riding a baby Tetsukabra. That was another monster from Monster Hunter 4, stuff like that. We've got Basarios, which is that rock monster that likes to roar and shoots like this meteor cannon at you and stuff like that. That's a baby version of Gravios, which Gravios was all the way back in the first Monster Hunter game, stuff like that. So the speculation is right now is that all these juvenile monsters are coming back. There's a few more I didn't even mention, like Agnactor and a couple other, but like there's potential that everyone's like, hey, why are these guys in here, Capcom? What are you doing? So there's combat. Combat is
it's got a sweeter.
Yeah, it has. Sunbreak is freaking nuts. Like I'm used to. Well, I mean, World definitely broke me out of like my ties to Legacy Monster Hunter. So Legacy Monster Hunter I consider that's anything from Monster Hunter 1 from 2004 all the way up to like 4 Ultimate and Generations. That's Legacy Monster Hunter because like Monster Hunter World came out and it basically modernized the gameplay for the game and stuff like that. And my God, like the characters move so fast now. Like your character moves so fast now. It's like you're running circles around the monsters and stuff like that. It's wild, it's crazy, but it's also fun. And combat. I didn't think we were going to get as much extra stuff out of combat with Sunbreak that we have. Like there's new game mechanics. There's new things you can do in combat and stuff like that. And oh my God, it's wild. It's wild, and I'm sitting here like, man, I gotta play catch up because this is honestly why I went in the build of Sunbreak. I was actually playing with more weapons and stuff because I wanted to get a little more familiarized with all the attacks, the already established attacks, because like they literally throw 24 new attack styles into the game. All you have to do is advance like 2 master rank classes, which is nothing, honestly. Like once you get some good armor and stuff, and the monsters stop smacking you down. but yeah, you get access to these new attacks and stuff, and it's like, man, I barely got used to the other ones.
Yeah.
This game is crazy.
Nuts.
Like it's honestly, nothing's gonna dethrone Monster Hunter World and Iceborne in my opinion, but this game is almost a close match to like what Monster Hunter World and Iceborne did for me.
And just to let everybody know, LeRon is playing the PC version.
Yes.
Of Sunbreak. Greysun, you've been playing the Switch version of Sunbreak. So what is your impressions of the Switch version?
Oh, wait, how far are you? Like, what rank are you on right now?
I just crossed into Master Rank 6. I got to a point where I was progressing content, and then I was like, you know what? Hold on, I need to actually grind and get some because like I don't know if I did well. I kind of did this on purpose because like I don't do a lot of research into the like new weapons and armor and stuff that come out. And so I'm stubborn. The expansion version comes out, and I actually run like the in-game gear from the last run. So just think about this, guys. I ran my in-game build for Monster Hunter Rise 4 ranks into Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Yeah.
That's
And it's a thing, but also like I'm used to Monster Hunter, so like it wasn't that hard. I mean, something will smack you one good time. It's like, oh, I need to pop a max potion right now.
So I'm actually I'm rank 5, and I'm about to do my urgent quest for 6 when you fight it's a big fight.
Okay.
Yeah. I died once. Actually, before the podcast, we died, and I was like, okay, I'll try again later.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you a question, Greysun, because I always love hearing from other people that have played previous Monster Hunter games. Did you play Monster Hunter 4 in Generation and 4 Ultimate?
So I played a lot of 3, and then I kind of skipped 4 in Generations and played a lot of World.
That's crazy because
so like kind of in a weird.
That's crazy because a lot of the monsters from 3 are missing in this game.
Yeah. So a lot of these monsters are new to me.
There's no Logia Cruz. There's no. I mean, Agnactor might come back.
Yeah. It's like Royal Ludroth and.
Yeah,
and it's like one of the only ones.
Honestly, I was honestly surprised.
Rathy and Rathalos, of course.
But. Yeah, but those are legacy. They're Monster Hunter 1. But yeah, Royal Ludroth, like man, like I was actually impressed with how they improved his move set for this game, because like. That used to be the most whack fight in Monster Hunter 3, and now it's actually
everywhere.
And now it's actually fun. Like he will slide all over the place. And I'm like, what is this? This is new.
He's one of my favorite monsters.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he's because the fights are always really fun. He's really the detail on the spongy like body part. I don't know. I really like the way it feels.
That's the other thing. What I love about Monster Hunter, like they for their monster ecologies, they actually pay attention to actual real creatures that are on this planet and stuff like that. Of course, the dragons and stuff. That's kind of fantastical and stuff. But the way they move and everything, like that's based off of real live creatures here on the planet.
Did they still like incorporate some of Capcom's like well-known franchises like Street Fighter or Final Fight for the monsters? Or
there is for the monsters. Actually, it's weird because in this game, no monsters really borrowed anything from like previous like Capcom franchises. Because I remember Monster Hunter 2 came out, and there's this monkey creature called Blanganga, and he actually does like a dragon punch. and stuff like that. But yeah, there's no monsters in this game that I think borrowed anything from Street Fighter. There's nothing fantastical and stuff like that. Of course, you've got like Capcom DLC. Like I see people still running around with like Rush, as their Palamute.
I have the Okami.
Amarasu.
There's different things like that in there. Like there's I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
you can dress up, man.
They're like event quests basically.
When Monster Hunter 4 came out, like a big anniversary of Street Fighter was happening, and like you're like so you got to dress your Palicos up as Chun-Li, Blanca.
Yeah.
And they had the sound effects. They had the sound effects when they were fighting.
Oh, that's cool.
Was you able to dress your particle up like Mario and Luigi in 4 or Legend of Zelda?
Probably.
I
Yeah,
think they
those
had some.
3DS
One of them
games, I
had like
think.
some Nintendo exclusive stuff.
I can't remember for sure. I can't remember for sure, but there was just like like the like a male and female hunter had like the Samus like male hunters had like Samus in her regular suit, and females had the had Zero Suit Samus.
Yeah, we actually did an episode on that at one point, the Monster Hunter crossover. Hold on, I'm going to try to see if I can find it. But we did because Jesse was on that episode. I remember that was one of the first episodes Jesse was on.
Yeah, because I kind of wonder, like Nintendo hasn't for the Switch version, haven't like got any exclusive stuff in there. Because I literally would love to hunt Ganon. Like
I think the reason why Nintendo hasn't really done anything is because like this is not an exclusive game. Like it's on PC.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Maybe, yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really what it is, because like when those games were exclusive for 2 whole cycles on 3DS and then of course the one game on the Switch and stuff, we saw a lot of that in Nintendo stuff like weasel its way in there, but I haven't seen anything. You know, it's crazy because like we just celebrated like major anniversaries for Nintendo properties last year. Like there should have been some stuff. Like
we did,
like,
Nintendo didn't.
Yeah, like God, there should have been the Master Sword and Link's Hero Shield. There should have been
Link layered armor sets.
Yeah, Link layered armor. Yeah, like the green tunic, for the men, and like the blue tunic, or even something Zelda-esque for the women and stuff like that. You know, like definitely should have been something for Metroid, especially given that I feel like Metroid was like a big release for Nintendo last year. Maybe it's just because I'm just a Metroid fan, but I feel like that was a really big release. Like, it sold units.
Everybody went back and like was buying the whole Metroid series that they missed to go play ready for Metroid. So and I think that's why when I think Nintendo just like, you know, let's get the exclusive for Rise. You know, you guys have the freedom to do whatever and everything. And I know they still got more content coming. For it. Yes,
but as far as I can tell, like it doesn't look like Capcom is really good about like they're really good about their roadmaps and stuff like that. And like we would have already heard like rumors of like some Nintendo-esque like stuff was coming.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it, you know.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter Generations had a crossover. Rise has not. They had well, they're saying Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass crossover. Because your Palicos could be Link and Zelda, it looks like. Episode 119 of Nintendo Pow Block, if you want to listen to it, guys.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just surprised that Nintendo hasn't, and I think Nintendo still works good with Capcom. It's just surprising that like some of the content stuff haven't came out for it. With them.
But like I said, I really think that it really has something to do with the fact that it's not exclusive.
Okay.
Because in all honesty, here's the crazy part, right? Modders in the PC, like all the amiibo stuff is in the game, is in the PC game. All the amiibo stuff is in the PC game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Greysun, and LeRon, how long is it? You guys haven't finished it yet, right?
Haven't finished it yet, but I've got buddies who've already hit in game and stuff like that, so I want to say it's a good 20-30 hours extension of the game. And I'm saying that loosely because like you got to take into account that, you know, like you're not going to progress if you don't get your armor and stuff leveled up. I'm just one of those weirdos and I play on crazy handicaps because I've been playing Monster Hunter so long. So yeah, the fact that I ran basically 4 rungs up the ladder with my in-game Rise armor, that's crazy, you know. And the armor couldn't even be upgraded anymore. Like the high rank armor. Like once you power it up, like the new stuff that shows up and to continue upgrading your armor does not even affect like the in-game stuff from high rank.
Have the like monster intros been good? Like, you know how
they're actually better this time than they were in Rise. And Rise was kind of good. Honestly, you know, there's a lot of Monster Hunter games do this weird thing, right? Where like there's a lot of games where like for example, like take Monster Hunter World and Iceborne for example. A lot of monster intros, you actually saw your character in the cinematic for it, you know, and whatever armor and stuff he was wearing at the time, like he was actually in it. And the cool thing was, you go back to the gallery, if you changed your armor like somewhere in the progress of the game, and you go back to the gallery, it'll show him in the new armor and stuff like that. So you know, one of the things I wish is that even though like the presentation they put into like the monster intros and stuff is spot on, it's a lot better than what we got in Generations.
Oh wow.
Generations was whack, but yeah, like it's a lot better than that. Like it's good. Like, you know, I really kind of wish that they still had showing your hunter, you know, and stuff like that. But that's just in my opinion, that's a quality of life thing.
Because Rise's intro's been funny. They've been so good, but they've been like comedic at some time.
Yeah, which is what I like. It's like that old kabuki theater stuff.
Yeah. It's so cool, like the vibe they do it, the way they present it and stuff.
Yeah, and Greysun, I got a question. What language do you have? What natural language do you have?
I've been playing in Japanese since.
You've been playing Japanese? I was playing the Monster Hunter language.
Oh, I forgot you can do that too.
Yep.
Is that what they just have like kind of like just gibberish?
Well, it's funny because the Monster Hunter language for the cinematics and stuff, they revert to the Japanese like dialogue for the monster intros, but everything else is in the Monster Hunter language because you know that's all I've ever been used to.
The Japanese sounds, the Japanese voice acting is really good, especially for like all the NPCs and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how many hours I put into it so far. I'm almost about to be into Master Rank 6, and I probably played like 20 hours almost, or 15 hours. Mm-hmm. But like LeRon said, like it's really hasn't felt that difficult so far. Like I made my one good Master Rank set in like HR like rank 2 or 3, and I've just been sticking with it for the whole time, not really taking too much damage. Like nothing feels like super difficult. I've only carded a couple times, just making stupid mistakes. Like, you know, when you get kind of risky or antsy, LeRon, you want to get in there, attack him before you heal, that kind of thing. Where I'm like,
that's me all the time. Yeah, like, and I got buddies that are right now playing with me that have been playing with me since like Monster Hunter Freedom Unite and stuff like that. Uh-huh. And they're like, man, I can't believe you just made that mistake. I was like, I was overconfident. I had this gun. I had this gun lance that basically like you can fly all over the screen and stuff, and you have a shield. So it's like, hey, go big or go home.
What about the like? Because did they introduce any new weapons in this one?
No. No, they haven't. No, there hasn't been a new weapon introduced in the Monster Hunter series since Monster Hunter 4.
So it's just been like new move sets.
Yeah.
In the sense.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Which, in all honesty, like if they keep refreshing the weapons like that, we don't need new weapons.
Because the way they change stuff is it just makes things like I've been using I started using the Great Sword for Sunbreak, which I really like right now. And I used to use the Great Sword a lot in Monster Hunter 3, which is almost like a death sentence because it's slow. It's like the slowest weapon. Like you can barely move.
And you're underwater fighting stuff. Oh god.
Yeah, you're just might as well just wait until they jump out the water. But with Sunbreak, like and all the new switch skills, which are the skills that you use with the wire bugs. Yes. You can really I'm moving around so quickly, getting in hits, like dodging attacks really fast, and
that's one thing I would say.
Good. The traversal bit, like
it makes weapons like the Great Sword that may have been difficult for beginners a little bit easier. I feel like when you have like the right moves, and it makes them faster than you normally would.
One of the big takeaways I'll say about Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak by proxy is that this game is so movement focused. It's all about what you, the player, can do now versus because other previous Monster Hunter games, like including World and Iceborne to an extent, was all about the environment. Even though like in Monster Hunter World, like your character started having more freedom of movement and stuff like that, but you know it was all about the environment. And yeah, there are some nice little features that came back from like World and Iceborne that like now you've actually got like actual like environmental traps. Like only one map really has the environmental. Well, only real map has a real environmental trap where, Ed, you remember seeing me where like I'm fighting a monster and all of a sudden I slingshot something and all of a sudden giant boulders fall down, stuff like that. Yeah, they finally brought that back into the game because that was one of the things that was missing in base game Rise. Only one stage has it, and thank God it's a returning stage from a classic Monster Hunter game. but there are also other environmental traps because like there's these things on the wall and that can absorb elements and stuff like that. And if you know what you're doing with the spiders, you can sling something. You can
so much fun,
something,
yeah.
You can yeet something right into them, and it will. And depending on how it hits, it will automatically stun them and set them up for a grand attack.
Yeah. So you can change like the element of the. Are they like bugs or something or like rocks?
I forget what they call it. There's some type of bug.
Yes, you can change the element that they dish out by attacking it. So if I have like a fire sword and the monster's weak against fire, I want to hit the thing against the wall, and then we knock the monster into the wall, so it takes like not only the wall damage but like the fire damage and everything.
The fire damage, and they wind up
damage, and
they wind up down. They wind up on fire and all this stuff, and it's crazy.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool.
Do the monsters still fight each other?
Oh god, the turf wars! The turf wars are freaking insane now. Like
I haven't seen that many like official ones, but
Team Darkside has an entire like montage in 4K on YouTube for all the turf wars.
Can I say thank you, LeRon, for introducing me? They are amazing.
Those guys are nuts. Those guys are
cool.
See, that's the thing about it. Like, I play Monster Hunter for pure fun and stuff like that. Yeah, there are days when I sit down, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna break this thing's face and whatnot. But I used to play for pure fun. Team Darkside, they play completely meta, and they're all about like, hey, can we take this monster down in like 75 seconds? You know, like you get 50 whole minutes to do the mission.
It's so weird to hear a game that's like strictly PvE kind of. They're like people like get hardcore into the meta, right? Like I understand like min-maxing to an extent, but like to try to like really kind of get to the nitty-gritty, like in a game like Destiny, I totally understand because like when you're doing a raid or something, which I guess like these super monsters or whatever you're fighting is essentially the same thing, right? Like but Destiny has like a PvP component to it too that you're still trying to, you know, grind for. And like when you say people are really kind of sweaty about like getting the best out of their like that's, I don't know, for some reason that's just, it's weird to me, but also I mean I guess I get it, but also it's still kind of weird to me.
Yeah, it's just like kill monster fast. That's like that's what they want to do, and it just like for me personally, I don't care about like, I'm not trying to have the strongest thing. I don't go deep into like decorations and crafting and stuff. I make my armor set and I go out, and if I'm good, I'm good. If I'm starting to die faster and faster, then I'm like, okay, let me see what I can do here. Let me see if I can do more damage with this. But it can get really fun, like messing around with the decorations and getting different gems, and sort of like I see the appeal of wanting to like make your hunter as strong as possible or whatever.
It gets a suspense for me because it'll be like I'll be like on my last hit and the monster on his last hit, and then when you like who is going to make the mistake or who is going to be successful, and it's always a thrilling feel with it, you know. Even if when you get carded 3 times, you be like, oh dang it, I'm coming back for you though. I'm getting my stuff together and I'm coming back, and I feel like that's that same energy for Sunbreak. In a sense,
and I never feel upset whenever even if I was on a quest for like 20 minutes and we die, you know, I'm a little mad, but I'm not like all right, I'll go back in there, let me switch up this, get a different weapon or something, and because usually you're playing with other people. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Finish.
I was gonna say like because usually you're playing online with other people, so it feels like you're a group losing together instead of just like, unless you're playing by yourself, then you might beat yourself up a little more, but
yeah. Yeah, the only time I get really mad when there's a triple cart and like we have to go back to town. The only time I get really mad is when I have a good feeling about the match, and I was like, this is going to be the match that gets me the part drop that I wanted, you know. So with that, you know, which is also why like I've been playing Monster Hunter for years. Like you always have to temper your expectations because like you run in there thinking you're gonna get that quality drop. 30 runs later, you still haven't gotten it. You're like, what the hell?
I don't do. I can't grind for that. I'll just give up and try to make something else.
No. I'm like a fashion hunter. So like if I see a set of armor that looks nice and flashy, I'm like, you know what? I'm getting it. I don't care if I have to.
I will have on like
5
different pieces of armor, just like 5 different sets. I used to do that a lot. I don't do that anymore. Once I learned like you're not really supposed to.
And it's always the one little you'll meet almost the requirements, and it's the one little piece that you need that you know that you just need to knock a certain part. And when that monster just likes to keep moving around and it loves running away, and you can't get it. It's just You
You
be
gotta
like,
be faster than the monster, buddy. I'm gonna tell you that right now because
Well, sometimes-
you've got so many tricks, man. You see the monster trying to flee and stuff, like throw a flash bomb, set a trap. If you're good, and it's not a monster that can run, that is not a monster that can fly, what you can do is you can set a trap at the entryway going to the next zone and catch them before they get out and stuff like that.
Shoot,
There's so many tricks.
I get to the point where I just want to beat the mess out of this monster. Like I don't have to get on about the traps and everything. And I think that's what I love about this game is that you could go in any way that you want to. There's not such a particular way. Yeah, there is strategy into it, but if you literally want to go with friends and you guys clown on a monster, you can. Or you could go in and be like, I'm going to be supportive and do what I need to do and help my team out. And I think that's cool for my son, Rise.
Trust me. Like there's times when you just go in there and just have what was called troll runs, where basically all you're doing is you're just cheesing the hell out of something.
Well, final impressions, Greysun and LeRon, about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. I'm gonna start with you, Greysun.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention because like I feel like we've been really positive because it is a good expansion. But for me, I think about Iceborne as like the pinnacle, like the peak almost of like Monster Hunter, where like they did everything right and it felt almost like a brand new game in a sense. And I think the clutch claw that they added with Iceborne was like a big game changer for me.
Mm-hmm.
Where Sunbreak for me it just feels like more of Rise with a few cool little updates and some features added and stuff. It's not like an Iceborne levels to me, but I understand why it doesn't feel that way because it's like Rise has always felt more, I don't know, smaller to me, like compact sort of game, and World was so massive and Iceborne was so massive, and this just feels kind of more contained and sort of just like, it feels more of just like, instead of a huge expansion, it's just like, oh, here's like a couple new quests and things. But there's a lot of content there, honestly. There's a lot of new monsters. The beginning is kind of slow because they send you out like in previous areas and you are fighting old monsters that you just fought like in Rise. But it starts to pick up after a while. So yeah, it doesn't have like that clutch claw equivalent that I was looking for, like a really big game changer, which is kind of like disappointing, but it's still just a really good time. And I say for people who might not have ever played a Monster Hunter game, Rise is still a good way to jump in. Don't be intimidated by Sunbreak or anything, or intimidated by anything. It's honestly like there's so much stuff to help you now with armor sets that Capcom put out. You don't have to be deep into menus. You don't have to spend so much time like min-maxing and like looking up. You could just literally make any armor set, go out there and like just have fun, honestly. And maybe find people who know the game at least a little bit to maybe shepherd you, so you can know more than just like the basics. But yeah, it's Rise is such a good game, and I'm like so happy it's a success, and like it just runs well on Switch and it's sold well, and I'm sure this won't be the last Monster Hunter game to come to Switch, right?
Yeah, I feel like with how successful Monster Hunter Rise is done for Switch, like it's definitely gonna like get in, unless Capcom is definitely moving to next gen for like all their Monster Hunter projects, like Switch probably will get one more.
Yeah.
And definitely everything Greysun was saying. Like the game, one thing I will say is like the game, the level of entry for this game is phenomenal for people who've never played a Monster Hunter game before. Like the game doesn't hold your hand all the way through, but at the same time, the game, makes you aware of everything that you can do, to work on your own quality of life. And that's the fun part, because back when Monster Hunter was first coming out, man, it was all about, hey, you go out there. It's just like dropping a newborn baby out in the world.
So scary and hard.
You had to cook your own. You had to cook your own meat. Now it's like you don't even have to worry about
paintballs and stuff.
Paintballs, yeah. Like
they didn't tell you where the monsters were.
You said dropping a
hey, like look for this thing. You're like, there's like 12 areas here. I'm like, yeah, I'll walk through each one until you find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do gotta ask you guys, because I haven't seen the amiibo out. Is the amiibo coming later on?
Yeah, as far as I know, the in the United States there's something going on, like the amiibo's taking its time getting here. And people are already saying just go ahead and import it from Japan and stuff like that, because like they don't know when it's coming to the US. Even not Nintendo, but Capcom is even like, we don't know what's going on right now.
Okay, I was wondering about that when it dropped. I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't the amiibo supposed to drop with this? Because I was trying to look for some, but I didn't see any, so I didn't know
Yeah.
if they got like delayed. And I don't know if
Well,
Capcom made a post about it. I might have
uh,
missed it.
uh, I didn't so much see a post or anything. I heard from some people that are kind of in the know about this stuff that there's some
Okay.
sort of problem going on with getting the amiibo released here in the States, which is a damn shame because like I mean like I feel like Nintendo like they pimp the amiibos just as hard as they pimp the Switch, you know. So it's a shame that like for a third party game like like for some strange reason like the amiibos are dead on arrival.
Yes. Well, thank you, LeRon. Thank you, Grayson, for Sunbreak Impressions. I will be jumping into it like a little bit soon. There's just been other games that came up that I had to jump into and prepare some other stuff for. But I did buy it. I'm super excited for it. I really wanted that collection for Monster Hunter Sunbreak, but it's just like I already own the game. And I just really wanted the collection stuff. And it was at first it was kind of hard to find. I couldn't find that Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak collection. Because I think there was a statue that came with it. There was some stuff that came with it that I wanted to get, but so I wasn't able to. But before we get into that, we do got a show and tell portion of the show. Corey, would you like to go first?
I
before
would.
I shut off?
I got a few things. Hold on. Why don't you go first? Hold on.
Okay, so everybody, while speaking about Monster Hunter Rise, Sunbreak, I got the Monster Hunter Rise controller, Pro controller, for the game. Actually, so LeRon and Grayson, I actually had to order this from Best Buy last week, and it came. They didn't have none in the store, but it came in like on Friday. For some unknown reason, they weren't doing pre-orders for it, and they weren't selling it in stores the day that it dropped.
That's kind of how it is sometimes with accessories.
Yeah, but I think when I was able to get the original Monster Hunter Rise, I was able to get that controller and pre-order it with the game and everything. But they didn't do no pre-orders for this one. So when I found out that they were like available to order, I just went ahead and ordered it. It took some time to get there, but like I said, I really love the look of this controller. I love the gold one. But this one is really detailed. Like, and I've been seeing some people show it off and everything. But yeah, this one is really detailed. I really love this controller. Capcom for some
What monsters featured on it?
I think it's a dragon looking one.
That's Malzeno. That's Malzeno.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if it was the one that they're yeah.
Yeah, they're doing the flagships. Yeah.
Yeah. This one actually covers the whole controller, and right here in this area they got like detail. It looked like bats or something. So it's more detailed.
Right, yeah.
Like
the curio
vampires.
The curio.
Yeah. I think this one is way better than the gold one. I love the gold one because it got that Yakuza looking kind of style on the right side of the Pro controller. But this one, since it feels the whole controller, I'm like, yeah, this is so good. And I needed another Pro controller because I got my Xenoblade 1 controller, and hoping to get that Splatoon 3 controller because that Splatoon 1 looks so good for the Pro controller.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting the Splatoon 1. I think it's as much as I love my Xenoblade 1, I think it's time to retire it. Time to put it up on the shelf for display. So
yeah. So that's pretty much what I got it. I was holding on to it till you guys came so I could show it that I got it and everything. But like I said, I was looking for the amiibo. They just didn't have them, so I didn't know that there was a problem around. But thanks for letting me know about that.
Yeah, I was looking because The only thing I really want is just the Malzeno amiibo.
I
Like,
think I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead.
all I do is get the ones that actually are built. They're based around the wyverns.
I think I just want to get them because I think they all look like really good, and I don't. Besides giving you that big one, LeRon, that's the only Monster Hunter amiibo that I had. But I
Which-
wasn't using it or anything.
Which, by the
Okay.
way, thank you.
Ooh, you're
Nice.
welcome. Yeah. I just want to have them just so I could make them, with my other amiibo and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have for show and tell. Corey, are you ready?
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
my wife was telling me something. So nothing too fancy. I've been working on building up my Switch physical collection again, because I'm crazy, I guess. But I got Shin Megami Tensei 5 physically.
Yes.
I know there's a glare on the screen, but it's fine. And I needed a new case, so I got a new case. It's very boring and very kind of professional looking, but it matches my backpack, which is like 99% of the reason why I got it. So, yeah, that's kind of it, though. Nothing too exciting.
All right. What about you, Greysun and LeRon? Did you guys get anything new that you'd like to show off or announce or anything?
No,
No, not
I did
really.
not bring anything. I didn't bring anything to class today.
Yeah, me neither.
Sorry.
Me neither. I failed.
Fail.
I have a Link
Let's-
amiibo that I bought like 10 years ago, probably at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, the P stand
infamous,
link.
the P stand, yeah.
I mean, everybody's seen me on Nintendo Pow Block. They've seen me show off all those Monster Hunter Stories amiibos. So
I
not
still
this time.
I still want your art books for the Monster Hunter one.
Whew. I'm waiting for that Iceborne one to drop. I'm waiting for it.
Hold on, they doing the Iceborne one?
It's out. It's already out in Japan.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I speak no Japanese, so I'm not importing that one.
Why not, Laura?
Well,
It's an art book.
if they do pre-orders, let me know.
No, it's okay. So Corey, like, because I got thank you once again for putting me up on the one for Monster Hunter World, but in that Monster Hunter World, not only is it an art book, like it actually talks about like everything, all the process and stuff they went to, all so like stuff for the monsters, stuff for the armor,
cool.
stuff for the weapons, stuff like that. Like it's an actual book, and like it's that damn thick.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. It's a good book, and shit, good luck finding it for a good price right now, because like it is astronomical. Like thanks again, Corey, for letting me get it for $26.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because it's like
Yeah.
70 or 80 now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's why I'm here, LeRon. I'm just looking out for everybody.
Well, I mean, now you send me anything Monster Hunter, I'm gonna jump on it.
Well, everybody, we're gonna get into our Patreon shout-outs. Corey, would you like to shout out our Patreon producers?
Yeah, I sure would, Ed. Remember, you can support the Boss Rush Network and Nintendo Pow Block directly. You can head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. For those who don't know what Patreon is, it's a monthly subscription service that allows fans to directly support their favorite creators. And in return for some perks, such as early access to podcasts and other things, we currently offer 2 tiers. A $1 tier, which grants you 1 week early access to the Boss Rush podcast and Nintendo Pow Block's expansion pass, as well as 2 weeks early access to Standard Definition, our Retro Nostalgia podcast, and Boss Rush After Dark. Our second tier is our $5 tier, which is our Patreon producer tier. That means you get everything early access plus a Patreon producer shout-out during this segment. So without further ado, our Patreon producers for this episode of Nintendo Pow Block are... Oh no, my monitor just went out again. It's fine.
Oh.
It's fine. I fixed it with my mind. Quentin Jackson, Rebecca Jewell, Adriel Munger, my wife Sana Dierig, and Francisco Santillan. I want to thank our Patreon producers. I want to thank all of our patrons, and I want to thank all of our free listeners. Remember, all of our content remains free. We just offer you a little bit of a incentive to come support us. But if not, you can always go to iTunes or Spotify and leave us a 5-star rating and a nice review. Super helpful. Also, leave a thumbs up on the YouTube video if you find yourself so inclined to do so.
All right. Well, before we get into our next
Oh,
section,
jeez.
Corey, LeRon, and Grayson, happy Iwata Day to you. Today marks the 7th year that Satoru Iwata passed away from, um, you know, he passed away from his sickness that he came into, and it was that last year that he had E3 when they did the puppet, and then that following month he passed away. I know it was kind of um saddened for the video game world and everything. And me and Corey do have old Nintendo Pow Block episode about that. But I kind of just wanted to wish you guys that, and reason why I do it is to just celebrate not only Satoru Iwata, but celebrate games in general, and that no matter what you play on, no matter what uh you try to say what is better than the other. I just want people to really enjoy games and enjoy, the passion that Iwata had for games. And definitely when people were reading, who's been reading his book and reading Reggie's book, it really means a lot for what he did for Nintendo. Everybody, of course, know that he took the pay cut for Wii U so that employees could stay and everything. And we didn't know a big a president like him would do something like that. I kind of feel like his passion was always for his employees when you read his book and everything. So I just want to wish you guys, and to you viewers and listeners who are watching this live, happy Iwata Day. If you see this and listen to this on Wednesdays, hopefully on this Monday that you guys were able to celebrate by playing your favorite game, discussing games with friends, and just enjoying what they are. So, just want to wish you guys that. But it's time for Femi News. Corey, take it away.
All right. Our first news story of the night is a doozy. Probably look, there wasn't a lot of news this week, guys. But Nintendo announced this past Wednesday that they will be releasing a Splatoon 3 themed Nintendo Switch OLED with matching accessories. The lineup includes the console itself, which features a special squid themed white dock, translucent blue, purple, and neon green yellow Joy-Cons. The bundle also comes with a digital version of the game. Alongside the console, Nintendo also revealed that they will be releasing a Splatoon 3 Pro controller that matches the Joy-Con with a squid-themed shell, as well as a case with similar theming. The console will launch on August 26th, with the Pro controller, case, and game launching 2 weeks later on September 9th. Splatoon made its debut on the Wii U as Nintendo's premier multiplayer shooter on May 28th, 2015, with its sequel coming just 2 years later to Nintendo Switch. You can check out Jack Brow's full breakdown on bossrush.net. There's a link in the show notes. What do you guys think of this Switch and this Pro controller?
I mean, yeah, it looks really cool. Like I dig the colors. I think the dock looks really awesome with that yellow like splash of paint. Mm-hmm. Personally, I'm not like a big collector. I never upgrade my stuff. I stay with the same controllers like throughout entire life cycles unless it's like dying on me. So like, as much as I would like an OLED, I still don't feel like I need one just yet. I'm still fine. I still have my launch Switch and it's working fine for the most part. I'm still kind of waiting for like, that kind of some sort of Switch Pro thing eventually. So I'm kind of holding out for that, but I think it looks great, and I think it's good to like hype up the launch of Splatoon.
Yeah, I'm digging it too. I do like the look and stuff like that. The Pro controller I didn't really pay attention to. Like, I mean, I don't know, like splashy controls I'm just not into, if that makes any sense, like, yeah, like there's like a cool color, a solid color or whatnot. Yeah, I'm all about that. But
see, I'm a
nice looking console.
I'm a normal console splashy controller kind of guy. Like
Uh-huh.
I want my console to look like a kid's not playing it, but like, I want a cool controller while I'm playing.
I guess I'm weird because like, like working 7 years for GameStop and stuff and seeing like a million accessories and stuff like that, it just gives me nightmares. Like this crap could be sitting around my house,
That's fair. I mean, that's why I haven't gone to a restaurant in like 5 or 6 years, because I managed one for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but nah, like this thing looks nice. Like if I dare say it's not the one for me though. Like I'm holding out for something nice. Like like it makes me a little upset that like I have a perfectly fine working Switch right now. That's the only reason why that's what stopped me from buying the Monster Hunter one. Mm-hmm. That's really what stopped me. If I didn't have a system, that's the one to get.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know for me, I told Corey this, that I plan on hopefully trying to get my nephew one of this, because his old Switch has died, giving up the ghost, and I'd rather just get him a new OLED. And me loving the color palette, me loving the art for this, like the design and everything, I'm like, this is so cool, and I think he would definitely appreciate and love this. So, and this is another way to have a white system in his household for Switch. So I'm definitely digging it. Like I said earlier, I want that Pro controller. It's very weird though. Me and Corey was talking about it, but they're releasing a system on the 26th, but they're doing like the Pro controller on the 9th when the game releases.
I mean, I think it's just to try to get multiple marketing beats out of this thing, right? I mean, that's kind of what it tells me. Plus, like, you can get the console and get really excited for the game, and then you'll play the game forever, I guess. I don't know. To me, this is just like a marketing thing where they'll get a couple extra marketing beats out of it. So
yeah. I gotta say that I love when Nintendo does this, and actually, to be honest, I love it when all three companies do this, when they not only put out a new system or design of that system, but when they put out some awesome controllers. Xbox is really great at putting out some terrific controllers. PlayStation, I love their colors when they're going it, because it's colors that we don't see often that they do, like that purple PS5 controller. When's the last time you've seen a purple controller since GameCube?
Yeah.
And unless you was doing the Xbox Lab thing, I love the fact that they are, when it comes to accessories in their consoles, they really go in and do a nice job. I still love that Destiny PlayStation 4 one. Oh, that one looks amazing, and that Halo one for Xbox 360 was a really nice one. So I just love when they do stuff like this. Yes, it is for marketing for some games, but I still think it's cool that different collectors or different designs of their console, when they bring them out, it's just awesome. It's really good.
Yeah, I think the console looks nice. I am in the market for a new Pro controller. Like I said, I haven't gotten one since the Xenoblade Pro controller came out in 2017. So, it's probably about time. But yeah, I mean, if you're in Splatoon, this is a nice looking console. But yeah, our next story is about Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Players have noticed that the hero lineup has changed in Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. No more Yoshi, and the addition of Bowser and Rabbid Rosalina are just a few of the changes, but in a recent interview with Nintendo Everything, lead producer Xavier Manzanares was asked why there are so many changes to the roster as well as the gameplay. He stated, quote, When we started to think about the team and the heroes, we didn't want to go for, okay, we did it before, so we have to do the same thing again. And trying to evolve what we had in Kingdom Battle. So it's true as well for the heroes, ellipsis. We decided early on to go for 9 heroes. We didn't know exactly which ones, and we didn't want to go for the ones that are in Kingdom Battle because that's the rule. As it's not a direct sequel, We talked, and we still believe today that players would be more interested and think, okay, the choice they made for the heroes and what they put in the game are logical because of the archetypes and what they do in battle, and it's cool, and the synergy is super cool. Free roaming has also been added to the game. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is scheduled to come out on October 20th, 2022. Are you guys excited for Mario plus Rabbids sequel?
This isn't a direct sequel.
Yeah, that kind of
I'm
threw
so
me out though.
confused.
It's not a direct sequel. What is
I mean,
it?
technically,
do
no
they
Mario
mean?
game is a direct sequel except for Galaxy 2, right? I mean,
I feel like
This is
that's
probably-
such a cop out.
this is probably some BS.
That's wild because I mean all those Mario and Luigi games are sequels.
I mean, this is probably some Nintendo.
With exception of one with the little babies, that's a prequel, of course.
I just think like this is some Nintendo BS that said, "Hey, you can't like we don't really do sequels. We just we do iterations, right?" And
Right.
that's kind of what I take from this. It's a sequel, guys. Come on.
I guess when you have Mario, Peach, and Luigi, and Yoshi, it's like, who are you gonna cut?
Yeah.
Right? It's like
Mm.
you're not gonna get rid of Luigi.
Well,
you're not gonna get rid of Peach.
anytime you tell me they cut Yoshi, that's a party right there for me.
I remember when I was little, like I used to love Yoshi, and now I just can't stand him.
He's the most annoying freaking character in the
Yeah.
Mushroom Kingdom.
I like him. It's fine if he's gone.
No, Yoshi's a cool character, but it's the noises. Oh my god.
Yoshi's not a character; he's a vehicle. Okay.
Greysun, that was so awesome.
I was thinking of his Smash when he does like his up, be like,
Oh
Or
god.
his little like constipation grunt.
when he sticks out his tongue.
I love Yoshi so much.
I know.
I mean, I'm excited for this game. I'm really.
Me too. Yeah.
I'm like when I watch the gameplay, I'm like watching the free roam stuff, right? And I'm like, I'm watching it and I'm seeing it happen, and I still don't understand how the free roaming works in this game.
The new combat system. I can't wait because I loved what I loved about Mario and Rabbids was the fact that it felt like I was playing like a Final Fantasy Tactics game, and I love strategy RPGs and stuff like that. But now that you can sit there, now you can actually like put.
It's like Fire Emblem now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like wow. Like what?
It's cool.
Give me. I want this game.
Yeah, it definitely
What's
is
the game?
cool. And I think the inclusion of Bowser, like, it feels like they're adding like heavy characters to the roster in a sense. So like that's gonna be cool. I think.
Yeah, add some balance.
Yeah, especially because
I'm already gonna. Yeah, I'm already gonna buy it, so there's nothing else.
Oh
I
yeah,
can
it's on.
add to it.
It's on my buy list. Like it's probably a day one get for me.
Yeah, for sure. So this next story, probably not a lot to say about this one, especially for Switch owners, but I think it's interesting regardless. Respawn, the developer behind Titanfall, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and the massively popular Battle Royale Apex Legends, is developing a new first-person shooter set in the Apex/Titanfall universe. Every article just said the Apex universe, and I had to change it and make sure people knew that they're in the same universe, because Titanfall is more important.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In a job posting found by Dextero, it said that Respawn is looking for a senior engine/systems designer for a game set as a, quote, Apex Universe FPS incubation title, and as a, quote, brand new Respawn single-player adventure. Will we finally get a new Titanfall game? Though Titanfall never made its way to the Switch, Apex Legends did get a solid port on the hybrid console on March 29th, 2021, almost 2 years after it debuted on PS4, Xbox One, and PC in early 2019. Apex Legends is a spin-off of Respawn's debut franchise Titanfall, which was positioned as Xbox One's killer app on March 11th, 2014, with a sequel going multi-platform in October of 2016.
No, we're not gonna get this because I just it boggles my mind that Respawn and EA is seeing all these other companies who are porting games to the Switch making coin, and they would not port Titanfall to Switch where everybody will play this game.
Let me ask a question, because I'm about to play devil's advocate here. Can they pull the technical feat off with that game on the Switch?
Yes. Yes.
I think if Doom Eternal and Wolfenstein can run, I think Titanfall 2 can run just fine.
Yeah,
If
it's not so much going on in that game, right? It's just
Right. And if Nier Automata is running off a Switch, Titanfall 2 can run off a Switch.
Nier Automata is not a heavy game though.
I think the only
it's like
thing
an open world-ish game.
Yeah. I think the thing that people would point at in Titanfall 2 is that like that time jumping level. But like even then I still don't see why
it would work.
Yeah.
It would work.
Right.
Plus I mean, we're sitting here arguing about this, but like Apex Legends runs on Switch, so
yeah.
Right, and Portal 2 is on Switch, and
they
gave it.
Wait,
Portal
Sorry
is
to say random game.
It is not.
Portal 2 is on Switch.
It's not the same game.
It's not.
Right,
it's not
but
the
it's
same
because
game.
it's
no.
right, but it takes that time mechanic in a sense.
Well, it's an older game as well. I think
it's
an older game. But here's a.
But
it
is the same engine to kind of point. I know what Ed said was kind of controversial, but it does run on the same engine as Portal, though. It does use the Source engine.
What, Titanfall?
Yeah, it's a modified version of Source.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Will we get this? I don't know.
It's EA. We won't get it.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. I mean, I think it's interesting that they're developing a new first person shooter in that universe, regardless if it comes to Switch or not. But we'll see. I just thought it was interesting, so I included it in here.
I tell you what I tell you guys all the time. Basically, like EA just doesn't see like games like this like making that much profit off of the Switch. Yeah. Like they look at all the sales figures for what actually pushes on the Switch, and they automatically, this is why they brought Knockout City to the Switch.
But then EA don't even have Knockout City. No,
I know they don't. But
But I mean,
they had it and it didn't have it. That's the easy way to say that about Knockout City.
Just to your point, LeRon. Like that seems to be the way. Like as the Switch gets older, and the tech gets more powerful on these other consoles, that just seems to be the way that all these companies are going. Right? Is like
that's true.
The smaller titles. The smaller titles
seems.
Go ahead.
I was saying EA is historically known for this though.
Oh, yeah.
Like other companies. I mean, CD Projekt Red dropped Witcher on there. Control is in like a cloud version of the game. So it's not like people are not looking at the Switch. It's more they're looking at it. A lot of these companies, at the end of the day, is all about their bottom line and stuff like that. They look at what is popular on there, and they try to like put stuff that is going to work, on that system. It's not like it's not like how like diverse gaming is on Xbox and PlayStation and PC.
Right.
The thing with Control, like I said, Remedy has never made anything for Nintendo, in a sense. Wow. So, and I know Control is a little bit more.
What's Square Enix's excuse then?
Square
Kingdom Hearts.
No, we're not going in the Kingdom Hearts. I'm just going to cry.
Oh, no, nothing for Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, shoot, Square Enix got too many other games on Switch other than Kingdom Hearts. That's making.
You're about to say that the reason why they did Cloud for Control is this, and then like games that are literally PS2 games that we know can run on the Switch. Like, why are they Cloud version?
Here's the thing though, is like these companies weigh out to say, hey, is porting this game down worth the money to make X amount of dollars, right? And like LeRon said, it's all about the bottom line, and if it makes sense. And some companies are willing to take risks, and EA has just been one of the companies that has chosen not to take a lot of risks, right? Like, okay, we got Burnout Paradise, cool. We got Unraveled, we got
they didn't even put It Takes Two on Switch, which is
Yeah, which seems like
Kinda-
the
That's
perfect
kind
console
of
to
weird.
do
That seems like the best place for it.
Yeah, multiplayer.
But they put none of his games on Switch besides what, Two Brothers, I think.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, because it takes two, no. What was the other one called? The jail one.
Oh,
Oh
A
no,
Way
no
Out.
way out. A way
No.
out.
Yeah, God.
A way
I
out.
was trying to say No Way Home for some reason. Yeah, I guess they haven't really been, put besides Apex. It's like there's not
Yeah.
too much going on.
Anyways, I'm excited for something new from Respawn. I think they're a great studio. So
I'm just waiting for the next Star Wars game.
I know I am too. I'm excited for
Me
that.
too. Yeah.
Our next story, a little bit more Nintendo players speed, I guess. Pokemon Puzzle League is one of Nintendo 64's most underrated puzzle games, is getting a surprise release on Nintendo Switch Online this week. The game tells the story based off the popular anime where Ash and Pikachu compete in a unique puzzle tournament based off tile matching, fighting familiar enemies like Gary, Team Rocket, and more. Pokemon Puzzle League is first released on September 25th, 2000. The game did not sell particularly well compared to its counterparts, but has a passionate fan base who continues to champion the title to this day. Anybody like Pokemon Puzzle League?
I play Planet Puzzle League on 3DS.
That wasn't the question, Ed. Did you play
the same
Pokemon
thing.
Puzzle League?
No, I didn't play this one, but I'm excited to play and everything. I'm excited. I really am excited to play this on N64 Online.
Yeah, it's I used to play it a lot. Well, not a lot. I don't think I've ever owned it, but I think it was one of those things where I had it at a friend's house or a cousin's house, and you how to play their N64 and check out Puzzle League. I remember it being fun. I don't remember it like in so much detail, but I had a lot of fun with it. I'm excited to check it out. Is it out already?
I think it's coming out this Thursday.
Yeah,
Wednesday
it'll be
or
out this Thursday.
It might be out by the
guys,
time
I
this
think I'll check
episode
it out.
posts.
All right, guys,
I
cue
was-
up the Womp Womp music for me because I never played Pokemon Puzzle League, but that's because I never owned a Nintendo 64.
I mean, that's fair. I also
You didn't
never
miss
played
that much.
Pokemon Puzzle League. The only Pokemon game I played on Nintendo 64 was Pokemon Snap.
Hold on, Grayson, he did miss a lot. He missed Mischief Makers on the 64.
Mischief Makers was on another system though.
No, it wasn't. It was on N64.
Hold on a second.
It was only.
That's it.
I think it was an N64 exclusive.
Right, that was Treasure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're right. I was thinking Castle Crashers. Like you said, Mischief Makers, and immediately I was seeing like the Castle Crashers
Castle
in my
Crashers,
head. Yeah.
It's not even the same game, LeRon.
I know. I know that, but I know that now that I looked at I actually had to look it up right when I was like I played Mischief Makers, and I was like, no, that's not Mischief Maker. Like it's Makers. Like yeah.
Which is
Not
funny.
like
It was just funny seeing Mischief Makers and then see them make that Wario shake on game. Treasure did on GameCube.
So good.
Yeah, the Wario game. Jeez, I remember the box art so clearly of that Wario game where he's just kind of like Scrooge McDuck in it in a big pile of
Mario World, right?
Mario gold. Anyways, our last story for the night. Bright Memory Infinite, the first ever title shown off for the Xbox Series X, has officially been announced for Nintendo Switch. The shooter Melee hybrid made a lot of waves when its pseudo demo prequel Bright Memory released on Steam, being developed by mostly one person. Players take on a wide variety of enemies, from ancient Chinese mythological beasts to Roman centurions to futuristic soldiers. What makes this release even better, it is not a cloud-based game, but a full native port. This version comes with all the DLC and cosmetics from the PC version, and it is not releasing alongside the Xbox and PS5 versions, but the team at FYQD took, quote, extra time to optimize the game, and it ended up feeling like, quote, a miracle when playing it on Switch. This game looked really cool. I heard mixed things about the Bright Memory, the first kind of chunk they put out. I heard it was like an interesting concept, but definitely felt like it was made by one person that kind of was exploring how to make games. But
Can I be
thought
honest with you? I didn't even know that it came out.
Me
it's
either.
not. It's
That's
not
what I
out
was
yet.
gonna say. Oh,
The Bright Memory Infinite's not out. Bright Memory is out. It's like $6 or $7 on Xbox right now.
Oh, that's what I'm
okay.
talking about. That game. Like, I didn't know that I remember seeing it in trailer form, but I never seen like a release date or anything for it.
I think this game looks visually impressive. I don't know what it plays like. I didn't play Bright Memory, but I think that visually it looks really good. And I watched the Switch trailer, and it kind of looks like Crysis a little bit, in the way that it moves, and the way that the gun sways when you run, and kind of looks like your character moves like a chunky soldier, the way you move in Crysis. But I think it's cool when things like this come to Switch, even if they're not the best versions of the game. It just means people are kind of trying a little bit, and everybody loves the Switch. So
I think more people will be interested in playing it now that people probably would know more about it. Like if it shows like in a Nintendo Direct, and they give it like a little bit of a breakdown, I think people will be interested to play more of it, to get into it.
I think too, like, there's not really a lot of shooters on Switch. I mean, there's a lot of ports, like, Borderlands exists, and BioShock and Apex and stuff, but like there's not a lot of like, you're never going to get Call of Duty or Battlefield or a premier first person shooter on this console. You're just not. But I think when little experiments like this come, it makes that look a lot better in the eyes of fans. So
that's the one thing I will say. Like the Nintendo Switch has not failed to impress me yet. Like with the stuff that they're able to pull off and do on the system and stuff like that. And, I know even in the last segment, I kind of sound like a hard ass, about a few things and stuff like that. But in all seriousness, I mean, let's look at something. Like if we turn on TV right now, we look at and we see a cartoon on, and we didn't look at the channel, we automatically associate it might be Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, and then we get thrown, when it's somewhere else and stuff like that. Same thing applies here. Like, basically, like, when things show up in certain places that are unexpected, like it's wild and amazing, and like it's like the Switch is like the little engine that could, and I enjoy it. Yeah, I enjoy it.
I mean, I've played some pretty big games on the Switch just because of this show alone, mostly, and like The Witcher is like it's amazing that game runs at all on the Switch. I played through Wolfenstein 2 and Doom on the Switch. Like, those games are pretty darn good on this console. Obviously,
I've seen Alien Isolation in action on the Switch, and that was just I was floored.
They said that was the best version.
Yeah, Digital Foundry came out and said that was the best version in terms of frame rate and the way that the textures don't pop in, and I don't know. They said it was like a miracle that this game exists on the Switch, let alone being the best version. So so what I will say is like kudos to these development teams that are able to like take something that's like built for the PC and pare it down to the Nintendo Switch, and actually make it, and actually not just make it work, but actually make it feel like it is just as solid as an entry as it would be on the beefier consoles.
And I think that's what a lot of people in the Nintendo community want. It's just like put some effort into your game, put some work into it. Because
here's the problem though, like everybody wants instant gratification and stuff like that. It's just like for example, like Ed, remember how upset you were when Mass Effect Legendary Edition was not coming to Switch? And we're like, it's probably coming. You just gotta give it some time and stuff like that. I still don't see EA like missing out on making more money on Mass Effect. Like Mass Effect is that last horse that they are just running literally to death right now.
I wonder if like they're gonna use a Switch version as a marketing beat for the next Mass Effect. To keep it in people's minds. That's kind of where my thought is. But I just want to Saber and Panic Button and Virtuous, like these companies, and I mean there's others obviously, but like these companies are doing great work and porting games down to Switch to the point where like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like when I played Wolfenstein 2 on the Switch for the first time at PAX, I was like, I can't believe this is running. I cannot believe this is running on the Switch.
And the thing about it is that those games that get ported to Switch, they get more talk and marketing. Do people like just do social media that people are showing that they got that version and that they're playing it, compared to when that original version has came out or anything at times for certain games.
Well, no. Just to go off of that, it's because like on the other consoles and the PC, it's expected. You know, like we're looking for the fantastic stuff. You know, we're waiting for Starfield to talk about that. We're waiting for the next Mass Effect to talk about that. You know, stuff like that. Whereas on the Switch, like I said, because it's so unexpected and stuff, it gets a lot more buzz. It's like taking a little girl and instead of giving her a microphone, giving her a megaphone. You know.
Yeah, me and Corey was talking about the Nintendo Direct of like if your game ends up in a Nintendo Direct, it's going to get press. It's probably going to get sales. People are going to be talking about
That's true.
You know, and so I just with the EA thing, I kind of just felt like I was mad at the fact of the point that I feel like EA doesn't support Nintendo when they're seeing all these other companies support Nintendo, and they're making money.
Yeah,
and so I
I just try to tell you, like, it's not so much that they don't want to support it, because trust me, like they know they can make money off the damn system. They know they can, but the problem is like everything that EA has, in all honesty, you know, is stuff that like, you know, like basically like dude bros like me and Corey want to play. You know, let's look at this.
Yes. Dude bro.
Because every time, Corey, how excited were you to play Knockout City? Even though technically that wasn't EA's game, EA published it.
I don't even think I watched a trailer for it.
Exactly, you know, stuff like that. You know, like it's just certain things. You know, oh, this ain't Madden. This isn't Dragon Age. This isn't Mass Effect.
If EA would put Madden on the Switch, I would buy it every year.
If they could get Madden to work on online first or any player.
That's
hey. That's neither here nor there. We're just saying like the. Okay, just like how like think about our boy Austin from my show. Think about how excited he was at MLB The Show hit the Switch. Just think about that. So just think if more mainstream sports games hit the Switch the way they did, and you know, we can laugh at the fact that like it was cut and paste FIFA games and stuff like that, but they were still jumping off the shelf. People were buying them.
And they're still topping the charts every year.
Right.
NBA 2K on the Switch topping charts every year, right? Like I buy 2K every year. This was the first year I didn't buy 2K on the Switch.
And we know those games look like potatoes on the Switch. I mean, they look good, but they don't. But they don't have the same graphic fidelity as like.
And no one on the Switch is complaining about the graphics. They just want the performance,
portability,
the portability.
Yeah, it's the portability.
They wanted just to make sure that if a game's gonna come to Switch, to be done fairly, to be treated right, to uphold the quality, or even some kind of quality that you will uphold.
Some of these games don't really uphold the quality, and people still buy them, like FIFA. Some of them uphold the quality, and they still buy them.
So
you know.
So to be fair, FIFA actually plays really good on the Switch, and looks pretty good. It's just that they don't add any of the new features, and that's why people are mad, right? Like it's not the quality of the game per se; it's just copy, save as, paste, whatever. 23.
Because I kind of just feel like, and I think that we're gonna kind of a little bit play a part of dark mode. I could just kind of feel like, you know, of course, games like Cuphead, Death's Door. Some of the indie games and stuff, when they hit the Switch, you know, people are just like, I need that physical so I could buy it, you know, and then people will double dip. And
now before you go to your next part of that statement, I want you to just think about something. You mentioned 3 games that look like they live at home on the Switch.
Right. I was using those for example, you know, just like those small indie games. But when it comes to like bigger games and stuff, you know, if people were just like, oh, they're doing Doom, like when me and Corey found out that Doom was coming to Switch, we literally after that direct hurry up got online and started talking about it. And then look what happened. It hit 1 million. Diablo 3 hit like a crazy number when it came out. And it's just like,
now This is a great night to have me on Pow Block. It hit 1 million sales, right?
Within the first like few months. I think I think it ended up selling close to 3 million units on Switch alone.
Okay, now I will say, knowing that overall number, that's a success. You know, for that, in my opinion, that's a success for a system like the Switch. And that's not me trash talking the Switch and stuff like that. Like, it's me, like, you know, knowing hardware and knowing what capabilities of technology and stuff is. You know, 3 million sounds like a very good number for a game for a game that you didn't expect to come out on the Switch in the first place and stuff like that. Like, I don't know what Alien Isolation's numbers are, you know, and stuff like that. So I gotta wonder if Sega, you know, thought that may have been, you know, like, not the best move for them. But, you know, they already made all their sales off of PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 4 and stuff like that. You know. Yeah. You know, stuff like that. But you gotta think, like, a company like EA, like, 1 million is a slap in the face. You know,
yeah, that's true.
A million is slapping in the face. You know, this is a company that will literally shut developing studios down for selling 1 million copies.
To be fair though, I think Bethesda has different expectations for their games for certain titles than EA does for their titles. You know, I mean,
yeah, true.
I think that's the thing too. Is like you got to look at. Just to kind of put a bow on this, because I know we need to move on to doc mode, and I think we're starting to talk in circles here a little bit, but like it's all about expectation versus how much does it cost to port versus reality. And if it costs $1 million to, you know, ballpark, just I don't really know the real number, but like $1 million to port the game to the Switch, you're gonna have to sell, you know, at least X amount of copies to break even, right? And is that worth it? So that's
well. Let's get into doc mode, everybody. It's time for doc mode.
Doc mode.
Does Nintendo need flashy and cinematic titles for Switch and their future platforms?
Yes.
Hush it. It seems that their first-party lineup is strong, and the games that have appeared on the system not only created interest in the series, but generated enough sales for people to show their support in those particular companies' future work. Now, this isn't against the other platforms, but people who wanted Nintendo to have games cannot deny the vast titles and quality of games that have appeared on the Switch. You ready, Elite Block Agents? Let's go! So, we are talking about flashy and cinematic titles, like kind of like big titles that we kind of see in some of the trailers that don't really much have that gameplay, but you can see the interest that people have. And you know,
talking about like The Last of Us, like kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
I was getting ready to ask that question because I think of like they got Life is Strange and all this stuff, so they've already got flashy and cinematic titles.
Well, I mean, like Gears 5, Outriders. You know, Final Fantasy 16, even though that's like literally flashy.
You guys gotta get 7 remake first. We're being honest.
Shoot, Xbox gotta get it too. But it's just like, I think, you know, these kind of AAA titles. I originally mentioned AAA because when you think of AAA, you think of high quality. You know, these big expensive, and Nintendo has a different take on high quality because it is their gameplay, but they dip in so many art styles that it still looks good from days gone past. Like, I still think Metroid Prime on GameCube still looks wonderful. Mm-hmm. You know, I still think Paper Mario from the N64, even though it has a little bit of Vaseline look to it, it still looks good because of that art style. You know, but I think, I mean, even Chrono Trigger in a sense on Super Nintendo still looks good, and I think there is just something about Nintendo and games that come to that system when they do different art styles or different gameplay that kind of holds the system up. And I think if they were to get flashy cinematic titles, the conversation about the system will somewhat change, I think. So that's why I presented this question.
Okay, here's the thing about it. Nintendo doesn't need flashy cinematic titles, but it's always a good perk if they show up. In my honest opinion, because I feel like I feel like every game that I buy on the Switch, I know the investment I'm about to get into it. Like Fire Emblem Three Houses, for example. I know the investment I'm getting out of that. Mario and Rabbids. I know the investment I'm getting out of that. There's a story behind it. There's there's cinematics. It's flashy, in its own right and stuff like that. If we're talking about gritty, like narrative driven titles, there may be a need for them, but I'm not the average Nintendo customer, so I can't be the person to answer that question. You want someone who's died in the world. You want guys like you and Corey to answer that question. I can't be qualified to answer that question because I kind of know where I get my gaming at, stuff like that.
You can though, because wouldn't a flashy title get you to buy Nintendo's next console? A
Metroid title will get me to buy the next console. Well, Advance Wars Reboot Camp will get me to buy the next console if that's what we're looking at now. If I'm being honest, you know what? And that's the thing about it. I'm not the conventional gamer in that sense because all it takes is the right game for me to buy it. To buy the next console, to make the investment, stuff like that. I bought quite a few consoles that have been nothing but a one game console for me. Well, what I thought was a one game console. I'm not that shallow that I do buy more games that I can't justify spending $300, $400, $500 on a console only playing one game. That's crazy. First of all,
yeah, but that's why I don't have a PlayStation yet.
There's nothing on it you want, right? Is that really what?
I mean.
And, and PlayStation's nerfing themselves because they're putting the games that should be exclusive PS5 games on PS4 as well. Yeah. So there's that. Oh, by the way, Corey, you missed out, man.
Wow.
I gave my boyfriend the PS4. He's playing The Last of Us.
That's fine.
And I told you I'd mail it to you so you could play Horizon.
I mean, I'll play it when I play it. I'm not in a rush. I'm just.
But anyway, so like I said, Nintendo doesn't need to flashy and cinematic titles because I feel like if you look at their library, they've got flashy and cinematic titles all over the place already. Stuff like that. It's just a different interpretation of cinematic that that I think is driving this conversation.
I mean, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, just the story, the trailers that they've been shown, it's just wow. I'm you guys are really going in. Story heavy, but most of that trailer has been flashy cinematics.
Well, yeah, I think
Breath of the Wild is cinematic.
Yeah. Look at all the stuff they threw in the Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak's campaign. They showed nothing but story.
Yeah,
they showed nothing but story.
I just think Nintendo has kind of trained us to expect a certain amount of. We're not. No offense to Nintendo, but I don't think we're ever going to get something as "quote unquote" cinematic as Uncharted or The Last of Us or God of War, right? We're just not. And I'm not talking about graphically, and I'm not talking about technologically.
Question.
Yeah.
Is any of the Tomb Raider games on Switch?
Nope.
No. We've been waiting. We've been asking.
They've been rumored for so long that Ed and I were talking about them in when Rise of the Tomb Raider came to PlayStation.
Yeah.
That's how long they've been rumored.
The crazy part is I feel like I'd play the hell out of those games if they showed up on the Switch.
I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like Greysun said, Breath of the Wild is really cinematic. It's extremely cinematic, especially for Nintendo, right? Voice acting, camera angle changing, and battles.
They don't have to do that, right?
Yeah.
For them, that's upping their game.
Yeah.
I think they just, like you said, train us to expect more cozier vibes, more cartoony looking games like Splatoon and Mario and stuff that we're not really fans aren't really expecting anything like The Last of Us or God of War to come from Nintendo themselves. It's just I don't think they need it either because the Switch is selling so well and
definitely Nintendo has stated Nintendo's just okay. We want to make our games original. This is coming from a first party stance. We want to make our games original. Whatever those other people are doing, good for them. But they are not us.
Well, it's like what we were talking about on Expansion Pass yesterday, Ed. Again, these are coming out in the next couple weeks, but Nintendo, we were talking about the rumored Metroid Prime remake that's supposedly coming in November, right? They you put that out the same week as God of War and Skull and Bones. Nintendo doesn't give two F's about those games, right? They're going to put out games where they come out, right? And I just think Nintendo's audience is different. And or, you know, people are expecting different things out of Nintendo, and that's okay. You know, there's plenty of other consoles and PCs and systems that you can play other games on, and I think Nintendo's okay with that. They've been okay with that since the GameCube, you know? And I personally, like, if I want to go play Outriders or Destiny, I'm going to go turn on my Xbox. You know, if I want to play, you know, something like Uncharted or God of War, I'm going to go get a PlayStation and play those, right? And that's okay too. I think what the consoles are doing now is like they're doing, each console for the first time in a long time are doing something unique and different and fun, and I think that's what makes a healthy environment for gaming. You know, even PC with the Steam Deck is like super interesting right now, and I don't even care about PC.
Yeah, I think when you think of flashy and cinematic games, they're usually coupled with like a mature story too, right? And Nintendo doesn't make M-rated games, right? Like that's not they want all their games to appeal to all ages,
right?
So I think
they'll pay someone else to make the M-rated games.
Yeah, that's like is Bayonetta M-rated?
Yeah.
Okay, oh cool. I didn't know that.
I thought Eternal Darkness was M-rated, but
there are definitely some lady parts in Bayonetta. So
the only M-rated game that Nintendo has actually did was Conker's Bad Fur Day from Rare.
Yeah, but
that was M-rated.
That game was not okayed by Nintendo. They okayed Conker's the 12 Tales, Conker's Adventure or whatever.
Hey, it was a first party game that showed on the N64, and it was from Nintendo. That's all I could say.
Also, I think by the time that game came out, like GameCube was just around the corner, and Rare's foot was halfway out the door to Microsoft. So I just don't think they cared.
They didn't publish Mad World, right? Nintendo didn't do that.
I think
that was Platinum.
Well,
that was Platinum. Was Sega.
No, Sega.
Sega. Okay, Sega. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But it came to Wii, and did it come to other platforms or PC?
No, it was
just Wii.
It was stuck on Wii.
But those characters were in that Anarchy Reigns kind of
sure were.
game, whatever that game was. I think it was some kind of weird melee multiplayer game that nobody cared about.
I think I bring this question because I know people they said, you know, people laugh at Nintendo being a kiddie system and Nintendo Switch don't really got games.
All of the immature people do that. I'll be honest with you. Like, because I mean, yeah, like when we do it when we say that on Crossroads, we're saying that all in good fun and stuff like that. But honestly, we know, like all of our current hosts on Crossroads has a Nintendo Switch. So I mean, we can't but joke about it so much, you know.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of like I think me and Austin was talking about it. I'm like, it's funny that, of course, the year I think it's 2020, or I think Hades came out in 2020, where all of these big games came out and Hades won Game of the Year. Like, that's crazy for that to happen.
Why was anyone downplaying Hades winning anything? You know, why was everybody downplaying that? That's
because it's a indie game and it doesn't look like anything else that came out that year that was AAA. You know, I mean, that's
is that why? Because I mean, like, I was playing Hades in early access and I was like, man, this game is phenomenal.
I mean, I think we went through that phase where like Journey won Game of the Year and it was like, you know, boutique to see a game like that win, or The Walking Dead, and then games like that started appearing everywhere, and everybody just, you know, instead of it being cool to like indie games, I think it was cool to dunk on great indie games for a while, and you know, everybody was just like, another indie game, because the game industry is so hipster or whatever.
But then no one said anything when A Link Between Worlds we got Game of the Year, and that was a 3DS game.
Well, that's like a Zelda game still.
Wait, stop. Link Between Worlds won Game of the Year.
Where? GameSpot.
The Game Awards.
It also won.
The Game Awards
and GameSpot. Sure? It won GameSpot's Game of the Year also that year.
Yeah, there wasn't that. I remember that year not being
incredibly big. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I
But it
think
was
that was
just-
my game of the year that year
wait,
too.
wait a damn minute.
But it was just the reason why I say it is because it was just like a 3DS game beat out all of these big games, and you wouldn't expect anything from that and stuff. So it's just, I guess, like with Nintendo, I don't know. I think if Nintendo did get these big cinematic and flashy games, what is the conversation about them as a company going to be? Is it going to change, or is everybody going to be like, yeah, they got all of these games, but it's still kiddie?
Mhm.
Are they set in their ideal ways? I should say.
it won.
According to this, it's only won one game of the year. It won 3DS Game of the Year all over the place, but only won one Game of the Year award.
I'm trying to find the actual Game Awards.
I don't even see the Game Awards. Wait, no,
They were called the VGAs back
Spike
then.
VGX.
Oh,
Spike
right.
VGX, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Gross.
best handheld game.
What was the game of the year?
Wasn't that? Hold on, let me see.
I'm just so interested now.
Yeah.
Invested.
You guys said that. Now I'm sitting here like, what?
Because I know during that time when it came out, EGM or
Grand
One
Theft-
Up gave it.
Wait, what year was it?
14.
Yeah,
2013, I think.
2013. So
Game of the year was Grand Theft Auto 5, I guess. I don't know why I thought it won.
yeah, like there's no way in hell
It
I
wasn't
thought
a
a Link
nominee.
Between Worlds.
there's no way in hell a
Fun.
3DS game is good.
I mean,
It did win
I just
some
remember
awards.
the
I
game
could-
spot.
No, it won some good
Yeah.
awards. It won some good awards. But you guys said it won Game of the Year, and I was like, wait,
For
what?
some reason, I
There-
thought that too.
I have
Yeah.
because I have that game. It's
Well,
a good
I
game,
just-
but it's not Game of the Year.
I just think GameSpot being such a big outlet, especially in 2013, like giving it their Game of the Year, I think a lot of people just kind of just were like, "Oh,
It's a
Game
big
of the
deal.
Year."
I
Well-
see that, and I'm like, man, like no, I'm sorry, no, I'm not gonna say anything.
But I mean, in terms of just flashy titles, I think Nintendo has enough. I think they've done a great job with the Switch in terms of stepping up their game in a lot of ways. Like Ed said, in Greysun, Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade, even having games like Bayonetta and Metroid Dread was super cinematic in a lot of ways when you get to those bosses and the cutscenes and I don't know. I just think Nintendo does a great job with what they do. They're always gameplay first oriented, which is important to me when playing games. I know it's not important to everybody, but it is to me. And yeah.
And I think with the games that Nintendo do, I think a lot of people go back to them more often. Like I was telling Corey that Fire Emblem Three Houses, people have been going back to that game ever since it came out.
Yeah.
And of course, it has different paths of characters, but it's just like I had such a great time with this. I'm going back in, and I think with some games when it's like really flashy cinematic, they get it for that first time, and then that's it. If it's not at GameStop and the bargain bin or a used game section, it's on the shelf and no one talks about it. And I think Nintendo doesn't want that. I think Nintendo themselves want to be like, we want to give you guys a game that's going to be memorable. So when you do pop it in and go back, it still somewhat feels fresh, or you have a memorable good time with it in a sense.
Yeah.
Anything else, Greysun, LeRon, about the topic?
No,
No.
I think we covered it.
Yeah, I think we got it good. We got it good, guys. Wow.
Okay. Well, everybody,
I don't
we're
know
gonna
why
get
I just did
into
that.
everybody. We're gonna get into question block. Corey, we got some questions.
We do. Remember, if you have a question for Nintendo Pow Block, you can tweet at us at Pow Block Podcast. You can also look for the threads on Twitter on Mondays and comment there, or you can just tweet at us. It doesn't matter. Or you can email us, like we got a rare email today at nintendopowblock@gmail.com. Our first question comes from a longtime listener, Deshaun Malone. He says, glad y'all are getting back to your old ways. The 3-hour pods help me get through my long hour jobs, and expansion pass episodes do the same. What do y'all honestly think about a Switch Pro model? Would you get one?
Can I go first?
Go ahead. There.
I would get a Switch Pro. I would get a Switch Pro. The only problem is, like, are we getting a Switch Pro anytime soon? I feel like Nintendo is going to move on to like the next console now. Because if Nintendo was doing the same philosophy that Microsoft and Sony were doing, like, we would have gotten a Switch Pro like 3 years ago.
Well,
if we're being honest.
The rumor was that the OLED was supposed to be that, and like they just couldn't get the components. So they were sitting on all these screens, so they said we might as well do something with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the Switch has been on a 2-year iterative cycle. So
a 2-year what?
Iterative cycle.
Okay.
Sorry, I kind of mumbled over that. But 2017 launch, 2019 we got the kind of refresh of the base model plus the Switch Lite. 2021 we got the OLED. So 2023 theoretically would be some sort of refresh of the Switch. Will it be the Switch Pro? I don't know. But in terms of getting one, yeah, I get one. I get one in a heartbeat. And it's not because I'm like a huge Nintendo fan or anything, but like, I mean, I am, but I mean, I'm ready for an upgrade. I want to see how Nintendo games will run on a better platform if they optimize for it. Like, will Breath of the Wild 2 run at 60 frames instead of, sub 30? Will it run at 4K? Will the handheld be 1080p or 720p? I don't know, but I have a nice 4K TV. My other consoles take advantage of that, and I would really like to see a Nintendo console take advantage of that. Now, granted, I don't need it to be an Xbox Series X in terms of power or anything. I mean, I don't think Nintendo will ever do that, but maybe 10 years from now they will. But I just want something that I feel like the Switch, and like when Breath of the Wild came out, like, as great as that game was struggling when it launched, and granted it had to account for 2 consoles, right? The Wii U and this one, and it was more optimized for the Wii U than it was for this console. But like, you look at something like Metroid Dread, and like, yeah, Samus moves at 60, but all the animations in the background move at 30. There's screening effects for the smoke effects, right? And it's just, I want to see Nintendo be able to optimize the entire game for their console, And I think it would be better for third-party support too. I think you would get third parties to stick around longer if your console is a little bit more powerful.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to say no.
Gross. You're fired.
Because I feel like Nintendo wants to do more than just do a quick upgrade in the Switch family. I think they're ready to move on to their next console, because the thing about it is just like, how are we going to get our Mario game for our next console? How are we going to get Luigi's Mansion? How are we going to get this new IP? How much, what would it take to get Kid Icarus or Smash for our next console? Like, I think they're thinking of, yes, we will give you power. We will give you a chip where the Luminous engine can run, where Unreal 5 can run, and do all of that. But we want to know that, what can we do as a first-party company? What can we utilize with a brand new customizable system with our games? What is going to be the controller? What's going to be the gameplay mechanics that's going to utilize this new system? They're not a company that's just like, oh, we're just thinking about graphics and how to make it look good. They put yarn into a game and made it look perfect. They are the masters of different art styles. So I think a Switch Pro, yeah, for some people who want it, that's fine. But I think they're ready to go to their next generation of console.
The problem
what they could use.
The problem with that though is, like, they already have a console that everybody is happy with, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think universally everybody agrees the Switch is what Nintendo needs to do forever now, right? You can't go back to a box and a separate handheld. You can't.
Oh yeah,
You cannot
I agree.
do that.
I agree. But don't forget, they are a company who wants to innovate.
Whatever I agree, they do, but the whole thing with the Switch is like you have NSO, which is a consistent online subscription model. You have the concerns of backwards compatibility. You have the concerns of the eShop shutting down, right? Like you have all these concerns, and with them pushing the digital storefront, with them pushing these types of things, like how do you create something new? Like what's going to be different? So at that point,
the question.
At that point, I honestly think Nintendo's going to go the iterative console route. I think whatever the next console is just going to be an upgraded, more powerful Switch, whether it's a Switch 2, whether it's a Super Switch, whatever they want to call it, right? Like I just don't know what they do from here. I think a Switch Pro is going to hold them over until they can figure out what their next thing is.
Well, that's... Oh, go ahead, LeRon.
I was gonna say, if that happens, though, it's like they have to make sure the original Switch model runs any new release, right? So it's like, I feel like the Switch Pro would just, I don't know.
I mean, it would almost have to be like a 3DS to DS type thing where like, okay, yes, this new console can run all of your Switch games, but the Switch cannot run.
That's what I
just don't think Nintendo wants to do that too much.
Yeah.
Go ahead, LeRon.
Split their fan base.
Right.
Their player base.
What I was going to say is I agree with everybody here, what you guys have said so far and everything. Like, in all honesty, like, I always spin it back to like tech and knowing hardware and stuff like that, like, and honestly, let's be honest with you. Like, if the Switch Pro came out, this is probably going to give EA the confidence to say, like, let's put Mass Effect Legendary Edition out, stuff like that, like it's we have a saying in business is price to performance, and if the performance isn't there, it's not going to make the price, and stuff like that. And Nintendo, in all seriousness, if Nintendo stopped at the Switch right now, I think everybody would be happy because like this is their comeback tour from the Wii U and stuff like that. And some people's opinion, like mine, like this is a comeback tour for the Wii. Because like I felt like the GameCube was a very solid system before the Wii came out and stuff like that. But that's an argument for another time, and I'm on Nintendo Pow Block. But but yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll be on Nintendo Pow Block again.
Of course.
We'll see.
But oh yeah, Corey runs the show now. Who knows?
No, but to what you're saying, LeRon, I think like. The thing is I think since, if Furukawa took over and they've kind of changed hands with the management, I think they're a smarter, kind of more efficient Nintendo, right? And I think that they are going to do things differently than, Iwata did, and which, is good in a lot of ways, and you can think what you want about other ways, but like I think this Nintendo is all about being efficient and being business savvy and what works and what doesn't, which is why I think we haven't gotten a Switch Pro yet, because this console keeps selling. It keeps selling, and it's been underpowered since day one, and it keeps selling. And you see games like Animal Crossing selling 40 million units. You see the same Mario Kart they released on the last gen system sell 50 million units.
And getting updates.
Insane.
Yeah. Wow. Getting updates.
And
that's the NPD.
And so, like, I always said that the Switch is like the perfected version of the Wii U, which, it kind of is in a lot of ways. You see it, like, every single game has made it over except for, 3 major ones? And so, or at least gotten a sequel or something. I don't know. I don't see where, I really have a hard time seeing where Nintendo goes from this. I want them to do iterative consoles. If a Switch Pro comes out, you better believe I'll be there within the first month getting one.
Yeah, trust me, I would run to the store faster to buy this than the OLED, which I still don't have one.
Yeah.
Well, I think people will go out and buy this. I think for me personally, not saying that I know how Nintendo thinks and stuff. I know their R&D department is probably just really digging in, just like what is going to be our next console, our next generation, and go in. Now, if they're able to get parts to make a Switch Pro, then yeah, cool. I'll go ahead and get it. But they have to. It's going to be a lot that they won't have to like really showcase to let everybody know that yeah, this is an upgrade, but this is not our next gen system. Because some people might get confused and be like, oh, the Switch Pro, is this the Wii to Wii U kind of or debacle? And Nintendo gonna have to market to be like, no, we added more. It's more powerful. It's still a customizable chip, but it's more powerful. Help get run games more, run games quicker, and maybe they do add more developers who want to put games on it. Or third party, I should say, be able to put more games on it and stuff. Now, I still don't. Yeah, I'll leave it.
Nintendo still needs to work on this relationship with third party, and I mean
that's the biggest thing of a Switch Pro.
Well, rephrase that. Do they need to do their relationship with Western third party or third party in general?
No. It's third party in general because in all seriousness, because there are probably some third party people out there that aren't in the West. They're like, well, like you can't even woo like Americans, and Americans are always money hungry.
Well, that's why I said which kind of third party, because they got a great relationship with Japan third party. What is the relationship in American third party?
Yeah, there's other third parties besides Japan though, like
that's
Russia, Ukraine, Europe, South America, North America.
Look, Russia at this time.
Well, I know. Russia's the reason why I haven't gotten Advance Wars yet,
and that's why I had to clarify the third party thing, because like Nintendo has a relationship with Japan third party. What is it their relationship with the Western third party? That's the thing about it.
If Nintendo's trying to be a worldwide company, Japan's third party can't be the only thing they focus on.
But if Japan third party is putting out better content than the Western third party.
Well, the power is going to change all that, and then it won't matter because they will have third-party support from everybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is what they want. They want a worldwide appeal.
Trust me,
everybody.
It's a business plan to fail if they're not trying to work on every third party out there, and stuff like that. Like that's a plan to fail. And
Ubisoft, they got.
And we can say Nintendo's got deep pockets, but God, if 3/4 of the gaming community turns their back on Nintendo's in trouble.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry. But I was gonna say something. You talked about that. Nintendo. If Nintendo actually works on a relationship with third party, like that'll be great. I will say that. Now, as far as like a Switch Pro, like I said, like that can be part of their strategy to getting third party back in. That way, when Switch 2, well, not the Pro will be Switch 2.0, I guess. When Nintendo Nexus comes out, like there you go, like now we're playing with power.
I really just hope this, because the thing about it is, if Nintendo does give everybody what they want and they still don't get the support, then what happens?
I mean, they're just going to operate like they always do, which is still frustrating to Nintendo players.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Well, because here's the thing about it. Nintendo can give everybody what they want, but it's always hard to convince people who already doubted you than it is for someone to convince someone that didn't know anything about you.
But if your answer is just they need to do it with everybody and they get everybody, if those developers or publishers, I'll say, still not support Nintendo, even though Nintendo gave everything,
Nintendo needs to move on. Then, like Corey said, Nintendo will go back and doing what they've always been doing. But here's the thing about it: like as a business person, and this is why these people make all this money hand over fist compared to us and stuff like that. Yeah. They think about this stuff every day. So like it might not be the strongest part of the strategy. When it comes to when they're in the boardrooms and stuff like that, but they're always thinking about this stuff. I guarantee you, someone in the Nintendo boardroom where all their board of directors meetings is like, "Hey, what are we gonna do to try and get EA this week?" Someone's always saying that crap. What are we gonna do to get this company that usually was Sony to give us an exclusive? Things like that.
Well, anyways, we're gonna. I feel like Ed and LeRon are gonna murder each other, so we're gonna move on to the next question.
No.
Our next question comes from Michaela J via email. She says, "Hi, Pow Block crew. I'm a relatively new listener and thought I would write in. I really want this Splatoon bundle coming out, but I already upgraded to the OLED Switch last year. How do you manage or handle a special edition situation? Thanks, and I am really enjoying the show. The long-form episodes really get me through my workday."
You go ahead and you buy the special edition. You treat one.
Cheat yourself.
Ed, you're
you're
muted or unplugged or something.
Yeah, you're unplugged.
I mean, I think if you want this bundle bad enough, maybe you just trade in your OLED and get it. Or, I mean, for me, I'm not a big special edition console guy. I mentioned it earlier, but like I'd rather have like a cool looking accessory to go with it instead of the console. But I mean, if you want the bundle, I don't see. I mean, I don't know your financial situation or anything. Like it could just be whatever. But if you want it, I wouldn't. I don't think there's any issue with you trading in, a 6-month-old console towards this special edition.
Yeah, but and also you got to make sure which one is going to be your primary console if you decide to get the special. Because the thing about it is, whatever's not your primary, you can't play digital game.
Well, I mean, if she trades if she trades in her OLED, she's only going to have one console theoretically. I mean, I'm just assuming that she only has one console. But
wait, I'm confused. Is it OLED digital or something? Is there a digital?
No, it's just the way, like, if you have two consoles and you're logged in with the same person, one of the consoles has to be your primary.
Oh, okay.
So you can play.
Yeah, so you can't
purchases.
game share. And stuff like that.
Although you can game share if you turn your primary console into airplane mode. Fun fact.
Right.
Oh wow. But I say if you're liking it and you can afford it, and go for it. I say get it.
It is a cool looking console. The case on the Switch, like the casing around the back and the Joy-Cons are super cool.
Yeah.
I also say if you really like it, go for it. Like, be pragmatic about it. Don't do anything that's going to put you in like a financial bind, or don't do anything that's going to make you like have like buyer's remorse and stuff like that. It's like just being practical. Like I really want an OLED Switch, but there's nothing wrong with the Switch I have now, so it's not practical for me. And just practicality's sake, always put it in perspective and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you would get a new one because of the dock of your dock.
It's funny. The dock hasn't been acting up quite as much as it was. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, or something changed or whatnot. But yeah, like it was a forethought. If anything, it was just the fact that I could have a dedicated Ethernet port in the thing. But like I said, like the dock is not broken, so I can't justify like getting a new Switch until like something is legitimately wrong with it.
Yeah, well, the new docks are on sale on Nintendo's website for $60 too, if you really royally want one.
And see, there you go. It's $60 versus $350.
Yeah. Also, though, like, I don't know how many Switches you've owned, but I don't know if you want to spend like between the launch Switch and a Switch Lite and an OLED Switch. Like that's. For me, at least, that's a
lot of money for the same hardware.
Yeah, so
that's a lot of money.
You might want to take that into consideration too. But overall, like, I wouldn't have a problem like trading in an OLED Switch for this cool looking one if you really, really feel strongly about it. So
yeah. I mean, honestly, like I kind of like the all white OLED, so that's probably be what I would throw my money at. That's just me. Like so. Yeah. I mean, the Splatoon one looks nice, but it doesn't look nice like the OG OLED does.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
There's a lot of OLEDs out, but it's the black one. Like I'm not seeing
what infuriates me right now is like I want those white Joy-Cons, but they don't sell them in bundles. They sell them separately.
Yeah.
All
right, our last question and our last thing of the night comes from David Nystrom via Twitter. Would you consider the Ninja Turtles to be mixed martial artists? Who would fare best in an MMA style competition? Popped into my head the other night. Just curious. Cheers.
I mean, now that he said like that, as part of me, it kind of thinks they are mixed martial artists, but it's just because they all use different weapons. But if watching the not Karate Kid, I'm sorry, Cobra Kai series has taught me anything, like karate does do like various weapon training and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know enough about ninjutsu
all I was gonna say.
or all these mixed martial arts or anything, but I would just assume that they are mixed martial artists because I'm assuming Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird aren't exactly trained in ninjutsu as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say they made these characters do cool, they probably watch a lot of Kung Fu movies and they're like, let's make some Ninja Turtles because that's hilarious, and give them all different weapons. And that's kind of my assumption. So yes, mixed martial artists.
I'm going to say no.
Oh gosh.
here we go.
What I would have considered them as mixed martial artists because so I haven't seen them actually fight without them having weapons in, and they haven't really did anything like Thai fighting or any kind of wrestle moves or boxing or the stuff that is in actually some of the MMA stuff. I haven't seen them do it in movies, and of course the cartoons. We wouldn't know about that because we're kids, but I would have considered them doing it, and plus Splinter is the one that taught them. So unless Splinter knows how to do mixed martial arts, I would say no, that they're not.
One thing I do know from the time I spent, I've never read the comics, the graphic novels, but one thing I know from like the various like different genres of all the shows that have come out and stuff like that, like each one kind of breaks off and does their own thing and kind of learns their own disciplines on top of the stuff that Splinter's told them. So that's why I say I feel like they do kind of blend into like the MMA, like format, because I mean, all of them. Oh, the answer to the second question, who would fare best in an MMA style competition? I think Leonardo is the one. Like Leonardo has the coolest head. He doesn't always break under pressure. There's only a few times that he ever gets seriously distracted, and he's the best brother and the oldest brother by a fraction. And that's his thing. He always has to look out for the other three and stuff like that.
He's more well disciplined.
Yeah, if we're gonna look at the four of them in like a cage fight and whatnot, Mikey's already out first.
Yeah.
Roth would be a close second, but only because the reason why Roth can't win is because like his anger and his emotions get the best of him.
He's overly aggressive and doesn't use his head.
Yep, and Donatello always overthinks everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Greysun, thoughts?
I don't know. I do not know anything about the teenage. I mean, I know who they are. Obviously, I just don't even have a favorite or anything.
Well,
like
Greysun,
that.
it's been great having you on the show.
No.
Hey, Greysun, I'll slide you an invite to Crossroads.
I like the one with the nunchaku, whatever they're called.
Well, and you see, that's the other thing too. We hardly ever see these guys disarmed, like without their weapons or whatnot. It's kind of funny.
Just say
Excuse me, Secret of the Ooze. They do not fight with weapons at all, sir.
I said we hardly see them. I didn't say we never see them.
I'm just messing with you, man. Man, 1990 Ninja Turtles though, greatest movie of all time, hands down.
It's not the second movie of drinking wine and eating pizza.
Oh God,
I
I hated that so much. Oh, stay tuned to Standard Definition, everybody, for Ninja Turtles and review. I think that's gonna do it for questions, Ed. I'm gonna throw it back to you so we can
and everybody, that's going to be it for Nintendo Pow Block. Greysun, LeRon, Corey, thank you so much. Greysun, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Greysun Morales, just my first name, my last name. You could also find my work over at GameRant.com, and that's it.
LeRon, where can we find you?
You can look me up on social media at Exodus803. That's also my YouTube and Twitch IDs, as well as my PlayStation and Steam ID. And don't don't fret. Crossroads is in a new place now. Like, it's on my YouTube channel, but still same night, same time. So Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have a new co-host now.
Yes, and you also can check LeRon on After Dark and the Boss Rush podcast on those episodes too. Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at I am Corey in HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me obviously on the Boss Rush podcast, on Standard Definition, on Expansion Pass, on a plethora of other things here on the Boss Rush Network.
Yes, and you guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode. You can find me also on Instagram. You can find me on, of course, the Nintendo Pow Block, but also a Special Pass, Standard Definition, Ranking Nintendo, and other places. If you guys are interested in hearing some of my older work, you can check out Optional Opinion on SoundCloud. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, happy Iwata's Day to everybody. Once again, thank you, Greysun, thank you, LeRon, thank you, Corey, and we will see you all next time on Nintendo Pow Block. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Have a good night.